This is it. Welcome in to the 2024 NFL Draft live here on RGR Football, where we're going to give you a reaction all weekend long, starting tonight, live, the entire first round, every pick, including the one that I know you guys are waiting for at 32. This is Daniel Harms. I am Ryan Tracy. This is Ryan going rogue, which is kind of a misnomer now because, you know,
it is.
It's been a very, very long run, folks. We appreciate you. If you haven't gotten the draft guide yet, don't worry. It's still out there. It will remain available at rogue.com. I'll put the links are still in there and all that stuff. We'll refer to it every now and then. Tonight, it won't be a ton. We're going to track the draft for you. We're going to give you our reaction to everything. If the Chiefs do move around, we'll certainly react to that too. There will be non-Chiefs fans in here, so we appreciate you. Welcome onto the stream. Please hit the like. That would help us out. Make sure you become a subscriber because we cover the entire league, not just the Kansas City Chiefs, but we do love the Chiefs. That's the truth.
We do.
And make sure you hit the button as well so that you get those. Nice to see you, Ocean. Miss Caroline, Thundarius, Will, Byron, a lot of folks in here. Matt's in here. Terry, all of our regulars. Nice to see you. Miss Tracy, I'm glad you could make it. I'm glad that we can help you out. We are not going to push the monetary buttons, and we are not going to stream the visual of the draft. But what we are going to do is give you a bit of a look by tracking the draft here. As picks are made, we will have reaction to all of them. So buckle in. It's going to be a long night. I hope, and that's the first thing I want to ask you, Dan, is I'm not even seeing the clock started yet. Do we have to wait to 32? What's your gut tell you right now?
Right now, yes. And my gut's even saying that they might not pick at 32. We might wait all night to get them not even pick. And I know that would be kind of anticlimactic, but wouldn't you guys kind of be okay with that at this point, right? The meat of this draft is on day 2, and especially if that tackle run goes, which, I mean, we're going to find out, obviously, what happens there. And we also heard from Daniel Jeremiah that everyone's trying to trade up for a tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Because I said this a few months ago. After the first day, specifically at left, it drops. There is a big drop-off. That is a pocket. So the plan might have to change. So the Chiefs are going to have a couple of things, a couple of get out of jail free cards, a couple of pivot points to be able to make it work for them. And at the end of the day, I think that maybe last year they wanted to trade down. I think maybe that would have been ideal for them. And some things took over that didn't allow that to happen. So maybe they execute that plan this year and get that done. But I'm excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. You know, we put a ton of hours into breaking these guys down. So one, we can cover the draft properly because that's at the end of the day, you want to be able to talk about these guys when they get drafted and why they're being drafted and specifically things like that. So I'm excited. This is gonna be a lot of fun. I do wish we were in Detroit for it. I'm not gonna lie. Go back to Michigan for, you know, my home state, but
oh yeah,
this is gonna be fun.
It's going to be a blast. I agree with you. We should travel. Last year was great, obviously, being in Kansas City, being together. We will try to get back to that in the future, folks. Don't worry about it. Want to welcome in our new members. Brian Smith, welcome.
Awesome.
Normal AV guy, welcome. Appreciate you. You guys know by now, Thundarius re-up. Nice to see you. Appreciate your back and good beer videos, dude. If everyone would hit the like, we would appreciate that. If you don't know us from Adam, Dan runs film around here. I do a lot of the other stuff. I've got a little bit more experience going on 25 years in football one way or the other. So that's kind of where it comes from. I'm the crusty one. He's the modern one. You guys will find
got a lot more experience. He's got a lot more experience. Let's be real about that. He was in it. He played it. He coached it. I am the wannabe that found out I kind of know a thing or two about football, which is always fun to realize when you're getting into it, right? It's nice to say, oh, this kind of makes sense as you start to learn it, right? But we make a great team, and every year we get through this draft cycle, and we're just like, you know, we definitely need each other, and you guys make that all the better because we wouldn't be here without you guys. And we thank you so much for all the support you consistently hand out. And then the fact that all of our regulars are in here right now tonight, it really puts the icing on the cake. That just, it's amazing. You guys are fantastic. We love you guys.
Yeah, we could not ask for a better fan base here. And for you new members, and I just saw another couple pop on. We'll get you on the screen here in a second. The community is even better when you pair it with Rogue Nation. That's our Discord just for our members. So if you joined at the rookie level or above there, and just connect your Discord account with your YouTube login, and you're all set to go. If not, you can go peruse there at Rogue Nation as well. And then if you decide to upgrade later, you can do that. But it comes from all of you that are always in here. We even have our mods in here tonight. Gary is here.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Holland. FLDB's in the house. Thank you, buddy. Nice to see you. You can see the little wrench icon. Those are our mods, so that you guys have an idea. All of our regulars, appreciate you guys for being in here so early. And I know it's a tough one because we're not going to see anything for a while. I've got the TV over my head instead of front of me, so that we have to be, I think, out there thinking. Now, just got news on the Eagles. I didn't see the rundown. Did you catch that?
I haven't seen the exact numbers yet, but I can quickly pull it up because obviously that was A.J. Brown getting the extension along with his fellow wide receiver, Devontae Smith. So it was a 3-year extension for $96 million. And now he is the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. And that came after the Amon-Ra St. Brown contract that made him the highest paid receiver in NFL history. And all this goes to show you that if you don't sign your wide receivers early, you're going to be paying them way more than you want to. Dallas, and that's just going to put more on their all-in method, right? Go all in. Oh, we're not going to extend our best player, though. Good job, Jerry.
Yeah, he's special. That just it emphasized even more for the Kansas City Chiefs that they have to get receiver, not just quality and impact in this draft, but depth. So back to what we've been talking about the last few weeks. It's got to be not a receiver in this draft. It's got to be multiple receivers in this draft. There's just no way around it because that price goes up. Unfortunately, I think guards are going to get there as well, but we're going to get there. So we'll get to metal, and we're going to answer your questions as we go, folks. This is live reaction and Q&A. It'll probably shift as the picks go on, especially as trades happen, that kind of thing. Looks like we might actually get started finally. So, hey, what an idea.
Yeah, right?
Thanks, NFL. Metal, nice to see you, buddy. Glad you're here as well. I'm worried about LA, Denver, and Vegas, what they do in this draft. Should I be worried or not if LA gets Neighbors or Harrison and Vegas and Denver make smart picks? Good for them for making smart picks. They all have to rehab quite a bit, I think, in order to compete for the AFC West title. Dude, am I being snarky?
No, I think that the only team that realistically can make smart moves and compete is the Las Vegas Raiders if they actually get a competent quarterback. But that's the team that's ready to go because the Chargers are not ready this year. Justin Herbert is there, but they're not ready. They're just not. They're going to have a little ways to go. And Jim Harbaugh is going to, do what he does best, which is implement his own plan without fail. And whoever doesn't like it, they can get out because that's what's going to happen. And Denver is in full rebuild mode. They're just in full rebuild, regardless of what happens in this draft. I don't think they're going to be able to get up to get one of the top 4 quarterbacks. I don't see it possible. You never really know with Sean Payton because he is the wild card, right? He'll go and do what he thinks he needs to do. But at the end of the day, the Raiders are in position to get a quarterback and actually make a run at the Chiefs. That they are in position to do so. But they also have to get up past Minnesota, who has 2 first-round picks this year, and they are higher in the draft. So all that being said, it's going to take a little bit more than just making smart picks. Because smart picks don't get you quarterbacks that they all need, right? That they don't do that. You need to trade away some of your future capital, some of your good players to be able to make that happen. So it's a building block, but I do believe the Raiders are in the best position to do so.
I agree. And it is official, folks. The draft has begun. The Bears are on the clock as of right now. Minotaur, nice to see you. Everybody give Minotaur a hand, please.
Yes.
One of our veteran members, and giving you guys. If you just got gifted a membership, it came from him. If you
Yes,
would
it
give him a
did.
shout out, we would appreciate you very much.
Love it, Minotaur.
We love growing the community, and Minotaur helps us a ton. So do a lot of our other members to spread the word. That said, to get the most out of him, you'll need to upgrade to get into the rookie or above. Dan's got a rant for you I'm going to put up tomorrow. I didn't get to it today, Dan. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's not good. Honestly, I recorded that a couple weeks ago, so it might be like past draft time, but you guys will get it all well and good just the same.
My rant went terribly haywire. It didn't upload right. The file got corrupted, so I'm kind of hosed there, but we'll have something on the membership side here as soon as possible. Maybe very late tonight. You never know. But so you can do that by upgrading from the free membership that Minotaur is giving out. That said, on this stream, every super chat gets an answer, just like always. We will try to get to the rest of the questions, at least the rest of the topics, again, as we go through. So that said, let's see. I thought I had one there, and evidently I screwed that up. So hey, we're gonna scroll down and get that. There's Will. Okay, good. If the Chiefs trade up for a tackle, is it Fuaga, Fashanu, Mims, Fautanu? If they trade up for receiver, is it Rome, Thomas, Worthy, or other? And if they trade back, who in the top 40 do you like? First, let me say this. It's been an interesting day for me because I got a lot of calls about why I knew whatever. And two guys are rising. They're both Washington Huskies, and both Michael Penix and Rome Odunze. Both very heavily. I'm a little out of bounds on them. I have Odunze as my number one wideout. Mm-hmm. I have Penix as my favorite quarterback, but I have him as number 4 overall. I don't have any connections with any of the teams associated with these folks. I do know them in person and maybe have heard some things. I don't know if any of that's actually going to happen. So I'm not Nostradamus, but I will say both of those things are going to help the Chiefs have an opportunity to get in position to take a tackle. So be for it. Only thing I'm worried about is that it sounds like Penix to the Raiders is the bottom now. And it could be that the Broncos have to go up for whatever quarterback they can get. And if they go 1, 2, 3, it might be Penix next. Who knows? But is there, before we get to all of this, is there 1 or 2 quarterbacks you don't want to see in the West?
Not really. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It doesn't really impact me at all. I don't think it's going to impact the Chiefs at all. Justin Herbert's going to be the best quarterback in the AFC West, not named Patrick Mahomes. Pretty much whichever one gets taken, unless you can get up and get one of these top 3 guys. They have an opportunity to get better, but Caleb Williams is going to go to the Bears. I assume Jaden Daniels, Drake May are going to go to the Commanders, and then probably the Patriots should select whichever quarterback falls. That's how that should go. That would leave them trading up to possibly get J.J. McCarthy, which, again, I like J.J. McCarthy as well as the next person. I'm not super high on him. I have him in the second round because there are some things we just don't know. We don't know about him. Yeah, he's a winner. Cool. That's awesome. I love winners too.
It's funny. We are independent folks. We don't give each other our grades until we get there on the boards. We reveal the boards to you at the same time we reveal them to each other. Yeah. And we both came down on JJ in the second round. So it'll be a reach. But again, that forces another guy down. So if the Chiefs do trade up, I have Fuaga as a second round pick. I wouldn't trade up for him. I think he's probably most likely to become Pro Bowl better level or better as a guard than as a tackle. But he can certainly do the job. He just has a little bit of movement issue that I don't like, and speed rushers get around him. That's just the fact. So not as high. If they move up, my guess is it's for Olu and Mims in that order. What would you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Olu, Fatanu, and Mims just because of the injury stuff. Obviously, I think if the Chiefs trade up for Amarius Mims, they are confident in his injury stuff. Like they are. We know that the Chiefs take players with injury stuff if they're confident in their evaluations. And that's what matters. Like if they do that, I'm good with that. So I definitely agree with the exact, pretty much the exact order. I wouldn't even argue if it was for Fatanu first, because I legitimately believe that he's got 5 position flexibility, and we know that the Chiefs love that. Thank you, sweetie. Good night.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Well,
So,
let's
yeah.
take a look real quick as we get then to the wide receiver board. We're going to switch over here, folks, and I'll try to get this view. I'm actually going to be marking this off as we go along tonight so that we can follow along. And this is, we'll pull Dan's up later. I just have my editable one here, so that's why I wanted to get to that. And so you can see here, we both ended up having Joe Alt. Then you had Olo first, sorry. Then you had Alt.
I did.
We
Yes.
both had Latham there. We had JJ in the second. When it comes to the wide receivers, we're not very far apart. But when it comes to trading up for them, I don't think you have to trade up for Worthy. I do think you have to trade up for Rome, certainly, and possibly for Thomas, although I do believe Thomas would be a trade up if he falls to X point. What do you think?
Yes, because I have Brian Thomas in the second round and a mid-second round pick. Like, I have him right smack dab in the middle of the second round, but I do think he's going to fall closer to the 15-16 area. So you would have to trade up to the middle of the first round to get him. And again, that's only if he falls, which you never know. Maybe a team comes up and gets him a little bit higher. But based off of my own evaluation, I wouldn't do that again, just because I don't believe in what he currently is as a prospect. I know the upside's there, but there's some other things to work on. And not saying that he's not going to get there. It's just I have more questions about his game than I think other people do. And that's fair. So he's definitely got all the upside in the world. And there's a lot of players that the Chiefs are going to be looking at around the end of the first round, specifically those wide receivers. So I personally wouldn't, if I'm trading up and going to get Rome. Like, that's what I'm going to get. If I can, I can pull it off. I'm going to do that. But that's just what it is.
You'll see here in the second, we both like Mitchell and McConkey, Troy from Oregon, and I like Jalen Polk. So those are some options there. Looks like the first pick is in, and it is Caleb Williams. Oh, we're all shocked and amazed.
Shocker.
Yeah, what an idea here. So, hey, that's bound to happen. Now, I also want to let you guys know that if you want the draft guides, you can run down everything. It's over on NFL 33. So are these boards that we're showing you tonight. The boards are unlocked. Mine's here in the middle with the Dunze. Marvin is on Dan's. You can just go in there and grab the PDF. Super, super free and easy. Nice and simple. While you're there, if you want to subscribe, that would be great. We've had a great month up to the draft and getting new subscribers, and we are adding more to that constantly in terms of writers and opinions and more that we're going to do going forward in the coming year. Again, that's not Chiefs specific. There's a lot of Chiefs in there, so it will cover the bases for you. And then along with that, the other thing that we have is this is the guide. You can get it at rogueapc.com. Super simple. The links are in the description. You can get there right now. Should you want to, not a problem. But let's go back to where we were before, and I'm actually going to share the other screen because I have too many screens going here. And what I want to see is, well, it looks like they're off and running, but it's not coming quick. I thought the second pick might come in fast. That's the rumor that I was hearing today. So, it is what it is, and it'll be all right. But if we take a look back here, Caleb on the clock, Washington on the clock. I'm sorry, Caleb in the house as we watch this tick down. And I'm just going to go back to this all night, folks. So we'll see the timer here. If you might be 30 seconds ahead, I can't even see it on my screen. Obviously, we all have different providers, whether you're streaming or satellite or whatever. We're going to use this one as our countdown.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your gut tell you here? It feels like a 3 QB run, right?
It feels 2 for me. I know people are talking about JJ McCarthy possibly being in the conversation for them. I think it's between Drake May or Jaden Daniels, and it's going to come down to the last. I think this could come all the way down. I think that they might be kind of arguing about it, to be perfectly honest with you. I know that a lot of people think it's going to be Jaden Daniels. I would personally draft Drake May. He's my second overall quarterback, but I understand the explosivity that Jaden Daniels brings. And just considering how Jaden Daniels really grew from 2 years ago to last year, and yes, it was with 2 NFL wide receivers. Well, guess what? He's going to inherit 2 NFL wide receivers, and Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson, who are going to be used properly next year. So that will help him. They will have to fix the offensive line. They have 6 top 100 picks to throw at that offensive line, so there is that as well. So I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels. I really do. But again, it wouldn't shock me if it was Drake May because I fully believe he's the second best quarterback in this draft.
I kind of am leaning towards the whole Jaden thing. I have him third. I do have Drake above him.
Yeah.
But that's how it feels right now. I don't know that that's the best for that fledgling organization, I have to say. And we heard the whole hubbub about they had all the quarterbacks in, and the one guy who got pissed off about it was Jaden Daniels. So you come away with two options there, in my opinion. Either you're happy that he's pissed off and he's got some moxie about him. He's going to tell you, hey, I don't like the way you did this. Or you're like, dude, you can't even get through an interview without pissing somebody's cornflakes. One way or the other, I think there's probably going to be pretty hard opinion in that particular room, depending on who was sitting with him the longest.
Yeah. And again, at the end of the day, I know that there's rumors out there about he wants to play elsewhere, not in Washington if he got to pick. Well, guess what, buddy? It's the NFL. You don't get to pick. You're going to have to come in with your lunch pail to work every single day, just like everybody else does, regardless of where you go. You're not going to pull an Eli Manning. This is a guy who wasn't even a first-round pick coming into the season. You're not going to do that. So just cool down and figure it out.
You could be all right. Chief Belief, thank you for your 10 gifted memberships.
Thank you.
Hope everybody's digging those. We're going to have a blast, and I think you guys will enjoy the content. Knicks fan, as always, glad that you're here and appreciate you being one of the members, pal. Nice to see you. Jonathan had a question. If we stay at 32 and don't trade up or trade back, who do you hope or expect the team to take? If it's a wide receiver, I hope it's either Mitchell, Ladd, or Thomas if Thomas falls. What's your expectation, and do you think they'll stick right now?
Man, it's tough. If they stick at 32, chances are it's a wide receiver just because of what I think is going to happen tackle-wise. So that leaves you with, a bevy of guys. I'm starting, I love Xavier Leggett. He's one of my, I think he's going to be an option. I know that there's a possibility you get him at 64, but I also think they might have to trade up to get their tackle. Because I believe if you're, again, waiting at 32 and you don't necessarily want to reach on a tackle that early, you want to get one of these receivers because beginning of round 2, it's coming. The wide receivers are going to go. They're going to go quick. So you might want to get in front of that. Leggett, Worthy, I still think they want to add speed. And I know Ladd McConkey's on there as well. His injury history is a little scarier than I initially expected it to be. There's more worry about that with injury. If they have interviewed Adonai Mitchell and they have gotten he's going to be locked in. Okay. I'm all right with it. I'm okay with it. Because when he is locked in, he's a very good player. But too often, if the ball's not coming his way, he does not care. And that really bothers me.
Me too, and that's the number one thing that I knocked him down for is incomplete routes and backside laziness. That's just the truth. The pick is in for the Washington Commanders. We're going to hear it here shortly. Looks like is that no, not a report. Sorry, thought I was seeing a trade here. I'm ready for it. I'm just letting you guys know I am ready for it. We may be doing some graphics on the fly as we get here, so be prepared, folks. And if the phone goes off, my daughters are out and about, and I'm hounding them, so I may step away for a second as we get through this. But the other guys that I will mention, I don't think you'll have to trade up for them. Certainly, I don't. As much as I like Shrags, I don't believe his pick from his mock draft.
No,
but I think if everybody else is gone, and you have concerns about Mitchell, we're hearing that he's coming off of boards for both some undisclosed injury that I'm not aware of, as well as some off-field concerns. If that's true, I think both Troy Franklin and Jalen Polk are options there. It would be a similar situation where neither of them earn that 32 grade or that pick, but they might get pressed into service there. I feel like the Chiefs are going to like them. Looks like the commission is announcing it right now. And there goes Daniels to the Commanders. Good for them. Again, you only had one of two options, right? You either like what he did and his agent did, or you didn't. And clearly they're comfortable with it, and they're going to press through. Good for them, and good for him. I hope that it's a good fit. Happy to see the NFC kind of tear itself apart, so go after it. No worries. Minotaur, thank you. Who else out there wants Lam McConkey in a Chiefs uniform? I like him. Can we do it at 64?
Please.
Just ask it.
Please.
No.
Because
Ask
it's too rich for me at 32, guys. And I like him. And that's not to say that he's not a good player. It's just a bit rich.
Yeah. I like what he does. And he can be effective across the field. I just don't know that he can line up and beat man. And they have 17,000 guys that play slot already. So
his play strength is not good. He is quite a I don't want to say weak, because obviously that implies other things too, but you can move him. He can be pushed around. You can move him off of his route path. And that's disturbing, specifically for me, when you're looking at how exactly teams want to stop the Chiefs. They want to play man coverage, and they want to force it to someone who's not Travis Kelce and say, get open. Rashee Rice did a couple of those last year. Well, guess what? If they say, okay, well, we'll take these two guys away, who's next?
Yeah, right.
Marquise Brown, who, again, you can, if you get hands on him, because he's quicker than you think he appears. If you get hands on him, it's over. For the most part, he has shown signs of, working his hands, getting through some of that contact, but it's more of, I'm going to make you miss first. If you get hands on me, it's a little bit slower. And Ladd, if you get hands on him, it's pretty much over. He's not getting open quickly. So yeah, that's my worry.
It's a tough one. Doug, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. We do work hard, and it's nice to see things come through, and that starts with you guys. So thanks for being here, pal. Always appreciate it. I do want to get to our first super chat of the night. Chris, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Here's to a great draft weekend. Yeah, cheers to you. I won't be drinking until later. So glad to be back in the fold. Thanks for the tireless work you guys both do to keep us all prepared. Thanks for listening, and love the hat in your avatar, bro. That is my favorite one as well. So I'm working on trying to get some new styles for the lids, but I don't think that logo is going anywhere. I'm going to dig that one for quite a while.
Glad to have you back, Chris. I know you may have been going through some stuff, but we're happy to see you back, and that's what matters, is that you're clearly doing well. And that's, again, thank you.
That's what we're here for. Jake, thank you. Over 3 years in the members. Appreciate you, buddy. You are the man. Let's go Chiefs. Looking forward to a massive trade up to get Brian Thomas. Waiting on them to swerve us all and draft a running back again. You're going to see me throw things tonight if that happens. I'm just warning you. Like, I'll do this, and you know where I'm going.
What's up, Chris? What's up? You okay?
Yeah, I mean, I even like a couple of these running backs. But man, no.
All right, we got the pick is in for the Patriots, guys.
Oh, hey, let's do this. I like it. I'm going to go and fix one thing that I made a mistake on. So, Dan, let me get to the next question and roll it. Again, Minotaur.
Thank you. With 20. Thank you, Minotaur. So awesome.
Man, I'm trying to grab the questions out of here. Man, you guys were typing a lot while I was yakking, and that's the way that goes, right? There's a good one.
All right.
Thank you, Cole. Another one of our mods.
Another mod, man. We're loving it. How far do you think Xavier Worthy drops? So I don't have a first round grade on Xavier Worthy either. He's just at the top of the second round for me, but it's going to be based on team fit, right? If you want a speed guy, and for some teams, you're going to want him. Like if you have two bigger receivers on the outside already, you want to add the speed element, it makes sense. You draft him. So I don't know if necessarily he's going to fall, but if he's not on everyone's board, it makes it a lot harder to generate where his level is, because if he's not picked in the first round, he's going to be in the first 5 picks on day 2. In my opinion, I fully believe that. You don't just let 4.21 speed, even if he is small, out the door. You just don't do it. So I think his range starts with the Colts. I think that's where it starts, and then from there, 30, 37, anywhere from 15 to 37, I think is fair.
I agree with you. I think at the end of the day, he offers something that you just can't get everywhere else. And that buys him a little bit of oomph. I think especially with Mitchell falling, I put out my board before we heard all of that. So I still have Mitchell a little bit higher on the board. But you get to the point where there's so many receivers and the grades are so similar. It's what does the guy do for you? And quite frankly, Xavier does one thing that no one else can do, and that's run away from literally everyone else in the damn league. So
It's very true.
if that's what it comes down to, is one thing you can do for me, well, that's one big thing. So I think that they can live with it. There's always something, though. Cole, thanks for being in here. And again, everybody give our mods a hand. Helping us out, being here live. It's a big one. Here's the pick. Drake May goes. And just a slight reversal of my top 3. I had May just slightly above him. Patriots get a young drop-down quarterback. I know what my main concern is about this fit. What is it for you?
He doesn't have anything. He's in almost the same situation. Actually, I take it back. He might be in a worse wide receiver situation than he was at North Carolina. And I don't even like Tez Walker, but he's a legit deep threat. They don't even have a legit deep threat on their team. I love Pop Douglas, by the way. I'm a big Pop Douglas stan. I think he's a fantastic slot receiver. He's going to be able to get open. They now need to trade up. The Patriots have to trade up to get a wide receiver, in my opinion, because they have to make this work, but they also have tackle needs. They also have interior needs. So I love Drake May. I think that he's with Caleb Williams, pure talent-wise. I think he would go step for step with Caleb Williams in terms of pure talent. He's more raw from a footwork standpoint. And that's matching the top half, the mechanics with your shoulders and your arm with the lower half is one of the reasons that we see a lot of his throws go high and go way out of bounds because they're not synced up enough. So he needs to work on that for himself. And he also was asked to carry the load at North Carolina. He was, we're not going to help you. We're not going to help you. You're going to make pre-snap checks. You're going to make the offensive line right. And we're going to ask you to do everything for us. He might be in the same situation now. And when you do that, you don't have time to grow. You're forced into a position where you have to do the same stuff you've always done because it's all habit. That has to get corrected now.
And that's the scary part. I'm completely with you. And I'll even go you one further. I should look up and be diligent here. The offensive coordinator, let's be real, is Cliff Kingsbury.
Yep. No, that's for Jaden Daniels.
Before I started talking trash, because that's the thing. Has Cliff developed one?
That's for Jaden Daniels.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I flip?
Drake May.
I flip him?
Yeah.
Sorry. Flipped him. Sorry, Jaden. I'm still concerned for you too. I hate to tell you.
I'm more concerned. I'll be honest.
Didn't really change it for me, right? So Alex Van Pelt, offensive coordinator. I haven't dug into each of these, but that's my concern: is can you develop him? Because JJ and Drake need the most development. That I feel is pertinent on every piece of film you can see on either of them. And so it's not just about fit. It's about what are you going to do to support him and help him grow and help him become the quarterback that you want him to be. And then, good God, Jaden, if you don't run, you ain't going to get much help else, buddy. I hate to tell you.
Start sliding. Get with the guy that Tua was working. Get with the guy Tua was working with in the past couple of off seasons. Learn how to slide and take a hit for the love of God, please. Yeah. I saw the interview with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart made you look small. I'm just saying, it's not. This is not
That's
the
not
same. It's not the same thing.
No, it is not the same thing. Steeman, thank you for the support, brother. Appreciate you. If Chargers take McCarthy, Herbert will be traded to Minnesota. I mean, that is true. And I don't know if you guys watch Annie Agar. I think she's hilarious. But the comedian that does the little skits, she represents each team in her stuff. And so she throws the paper like draft day of JJ no matter what, right? Okay. If you do that, it is destruction for the Los Angeles Chargers organization. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you willingly move on from Justin Herbert for a kid, you have no way to know if he's ever going to get any better because Jim ain't going to make it.
Oh, we got the pick in for the Cardinals. Hey. This is what I love about this. Everyone's going to trade out. I have been so steadfast. No one's moving. And yet here we are. No one's moving. Nobody's moving. You want to know why? Because everyone wants smoke. Everyone wants the smoke. And sometimes it just makes sense. Like all of this has made sense. It's exactly how so far I have thought it was going to go from day one. Like this is exactly it. So when everyone is saying we're going to see 6, 7 quarterbacks in the first round, there's going to be trading up, trading down. The Cardinals are going to trade down, then trade back up. Just ignore it. Ignore it. Okay? Until it happens. None of this stuff means anything.
That is a good point. If it happens, it happens. We're only 3-4 picks in now. So let's hope that something starts to pick up. Otherwise, if it's just chalk the whole night, I'm going to be pretty bored.
I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I would love to see a little bit of just straight chalk to be fair.
Okay.
Because of all of the because it would stop some of the reporters. Because the reporters consistently think that they have inside information. But all they are is secondhand information. It's all it is. It's something that I know someone who knows somebody said this. No, we got to stop this stuff. Like we don't know anything until it happens. Also, just let you guys know, in about 20 minutes, I'm going to head over to Football Guys for 30 minutes to talk with them about what's going on with the draft, a little bit of fantasy football and stuff. And then I will be back here. And if the Chiefs trade up at any point, I'll be in. I will be right smack dab in here so we can talk about it. Okay. Hey, look, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the pick.
Hey.
Big shock there. If you guys, by the way, if you guys have fantasy football leagues, this would have been a perfect time to buy Kyler Murray. I knew this pick was going to happen. Kyler Murray just got a stud receiver. And if you want young, good quarterback with a legitimate number 1 receiver, before the draft would have been a good time to go acquire him, but now it's going to be too expensive. So
it is tough. Well, if you want to chalk, you're getting chalk. Well done.
I love it. I'm loving it.
I'm glad Marvin's not in the AFC. Let me put it that way.
Facts. Like everyone's saying, well, they're not going to, he's going to go to the Chargers. I'm like, this is okay. Justin Herbert with Marvin Harrison Jr. would make me a little sus, right?
I agree. Dang, that'd make me nervous. Quentin, thank you, buddy. 29 months. Congratulations.
Thank you, Quentin.
We thank you immensely. What position do you think we take, and what draft position will be our first, meaning pick?
Yep. All right. So I'm going to say tackle. Ryan, I have been very adamant wide receiver up until like a few weeks ago. And as soon as I got through the tackle class and I saw the drop off, they got to get a tackle. And they got to try at least. And obviously if we heard that they tried, okay, you did what you could. But I think it's going to be tackle, and I think they're going to trade up. I think they're going to trade up.
I hope. Metal, thank you. And thank everybody's giving out these free ones. That's awesome. I appreciate you guys. It's so awesome.
These are awesome.
Did Mims get evaluated by the Chiefs by their staff? I have not heard of him coming in for a specific visit, but I know they interviewed him at the combine. That's the only thing I can confirm. So he's a dangerous pick in my opinion. It's just going to be tough. What I don't want to see right now that the Los Angeles Chargers are on the clock, is I don't want to see him go alt. I worry that, Jim's Jim, and he might do that.
He's not going to.
I know.
They're going to take J.C. Latham, right? They're going to take J.C. Latham.
I hope. Happy as a clam. If they take Rome or they take alt, I'm going to be pissed. I'm just.
Well, they have Rashawn Slater. I think Joe Alt might make a better right tackle in the NFL. I'll be honest. I think he might make a better right tackle than left tackle. Okay. I wouldn't disagree with that, just because I think that he can get kind of pushed around a little bit at times. I think he can get pushed around, and I'm not huge on that at left tackle. But at the same time, they have Rashawn Slater. Why wouldn't they just maybe trade down? Here's what they should do. They should smartly trade down and take J.C. Latham. No one's taking J.C. Latham in the top 10. No one's doing it. So try and trade down and get him later.
Yeah, it only makes sense. I'm gonna clean up our starred list here, buddy.
All right, that's a good idea.
I was not paying attention, but go ahead and take the next one if you want. I hope you're right, Eric. I hope he's second off the board, and it ain't this pick.
All right, which one am I taking here? Right here, this one right here.
Perfect.
All right, Terry, thank you for your question. Did you see the 49ers might trade a couple of their wide receivers tonight? There's always kind of smoke around the 49ers and trading their wide receivers, specifically because, I mean, we have a lot of Brandon Ayuk talking outside of the 49ers building about, things are going to happen in 5 days. That was 5 days ago when he said it on Instagram, and they haven't paid him, and he wants to get paid, and he maybe wants out of San Francisco, and maybe they should just trade Debo instead and then pay. Like, it's honestly, they have a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract. Just sign him. Like, just why? Why are you putting yourself through this situation? I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I'm tired. I'm tired.
I'm tired. That's a good way to put it. I mean, at this time of year, we're pretty exhausted, but it's the foolishness that really drives us crazy at this point.
That's very true.
I mean, that said, oh, sorry, Novaplex. I guess I need to relax. If I can get Ayuk out of there, I mean, hell, if I could get either of them out of there, salary is significant at this point, right? Because he signed that extension. So I'd have to look at the numbers to know whether I'd really be comfortable with that. But just on the field, either of them, I mean, you want to rip the soul out of every Niner fan go acquire one of those guys in Kansas City. I mean, good God.
Right?
Yeah.
So real quickly, let's assume that the Chargers stay at 5. Who are they picking?
Here's what I don't know. Is Jim really in charge? It feels like it. But is he really?
Oh, he's absolutely in charge.
Okay. Then my guess is I don't know that he sees Latham over Alt in terms of what he wants to do. But Alt would be number 2 in terms of like a power guy. But he wants the intimidation factor. I think he might screw around and go take Talise Fuaga and act like he's actually the second best tackle, or God forbid, the best tackle at this point. That's, if you want to have a royal screw up for Los Angeles Chargers, it would be take Fuaga now.
It's not unfair. Like, I like Fuaga a lot, but they're, like you said, against speed, it's not great.
And you're going to be behind, Jim. I hate to tell you, you're going to be playing from behind.
It is the worst part of his game too. Like, it's the worst part of his game. You don't see a ton of like real true speed edge rushers in the NFL. They're mostly speed to power. And they don't all have that elite get off. So he's going to be able to get a little bit better, maybe time his snaps or his steps a little bit better. But in the NFL, we're talking step up from Pac-12 pass rushers. All right. A big step up from Pac-12 pass rushers. And it is a worry thing for me, but he is the most physical, downhill, I want to punish you now kind of player. But we do have the pick is in. The Chargers have stayed. They aren't moving. They're going to pick. I think it's going to be Latham. I really do.
Do you? Okay.
What they should do is just take Malik Neighbors or Roma Dunze. That's what they should do. But I think it's going to be Latham.
And for those of you that are asking this question, Belisarius hits it on the nose here, and I know there's several others. In fact, who was it? Anthony. It's not that he doesn't believe him. We know he loves the kid. It's that you have. I won't call him elite. I don't know that Justin Herbert is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in this league anymore.
Yeah,
but he's in the top 10. And if you put some kind of semblance of a program underneath him, he will be again, in my opinion. You can't walk away from him unless you have a trade involved. And if it was going to happen that way, I think this would have been a traded pick, including Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
So I that's what we're saying is we don't think that they can draft JJ on top of keeping Justin. But Jim Harbaugh's Jim Harbaugh. He lives on Mars. He's going to do what he's going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jim is a special one. I don't believe in Jim Harbaugh anymore, by the way. Like, it's been a long time.
Oh, no?
It's been a long time since I have not believed in him. I don't believe that his vision for football can win in the NFL today, specifically in this division. I don't think it works. It doesn't work. So I think he's got now already an uphill battle against him in this division. and in today's NFL. I think it's much different, you know?
Yeah, I'm completely with you. I think it's going to be hard to translate. Do I like some of the tenets of it? Sure. Is it foundational that you can then build on? Yeah. Justin Herbert doesn't run a big play action offense. He didn't in college either. Are you going to tell me you're going to try to take a guy that has one of the better arms in the league and now try to make him do something different? It's just silly. It doesn't make sense. And I think it's an uphill battle that you'll lose. So I don't know. Next question, until we actually get the commission. He's walking up. I guess we'll hold off on this one. Let's see what they do here.
Oh,
and damn it, if they didn't go do the one thing, right? So 6 wasn't going to get it done. I had theorized that maybe they could get to the Giants at 6 and the Chiefs could grab Alt. Evidently not happening. And now you got to face him. Maybe the worst scenario that I could have thought.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't have him as my top tackle for a reason. I do think that there are some things to his game. I'm worried about his height.
And I know that guy's under his pads. Yeah.
He lets guys right into his chest a lot. And the anchor when he does is not always there. It's not there quickly. He can get walked right back into the quarterback, which now you have him and Rashawn Slater. Who's playing left tackle for you? Is it going to be Alt? Probably, which means Rashawn's going to be your right tackle more than likely, or what? Is he going to kick inside, play guard? Because again, he could do that too. What's the plan here? You already had a left tackle. Now you take another one. You want to move guys. Maybe, I don't know. But he does let guys right in. The pad level, the natural pad level is the problem. He can't really help that. Not his fault. Dude's 6'9". What do you want from him? Like, it's hard to get down. So that's really my big concern, is that he lets guys right into his chest. He's obviously athletic. He can get to the next level. He can pull. He can do all those things. I'm just a little worried about the natural pad level. And honestly, his anchor worries me.
Luckily for the Chiefs, Karlaftis and even FAU can deliver power.
Yep.
FAU's got nice long arms. He can get into that chest plate. The problem is his dad was an all-pro. He's got everything going for him. Whatever his issues are now, as long as he has a solid O-line coach, and I don't even know who the Chargers have at O-line, he will develop. And so you're ahead of the race right now. You got to stay ahead of that race, in my opinion.
It's a tackle farm, right? They have to get a tackle. You have to. Yeah. And now you got one going at 5, where a lot of people thought maybe the Chargers would trade out and the tackle run wouldn't start at 5. Starts to put the 8 ball rolling. And this is a little bit earlier. And now teams might end up reaching. And it does make it tough for the Chiefs trying to trade up, unless you got a guy falling for injury concerns or things that we don't know. It starts to get tough.
Slight departure. Jimmy, thanks for the support. Nice to see you. Leggett at 32 and Patrick Paul at 64 or sooner. I cannot support Leggett at 32. I know Dan probably can. Let him go into the specifics. It's too rich for me on both players. I would trade back if I could, but if you're stuck, you're stuck, and I'll live with it.
So I can talk myself into Leggett at 32. I can. Like, I would prefer it at 64, but I can talk myself into it. I know people, Patrick Paul included, believe that he's this legitimate player. Houston didn't play very much of anybody. And I was not very high on Patrick Paul when I watched his tape. Like, I have a 3rd round grade on Patrick Paul. So again, if you are, and I don't even think he can start right away. I don't think he can.
I don't think he can beat out Wanya.
No, I think you're in a Wanya Morris situation with Patrick Paul. Like, it's the same thing in my mind. So agreed. I don't know. I understand it. I get it. But I'm tired of developmental. Oh, we'll bring in a veteran. Development. It's tough. It's tough to continue to do that. I know that they're at 32, and that's what they're like looking at anyway. But there are some options. Again, you'd have to trade up to get them, but it's hard. That's all I'll say. And the Chiefs are in a tough situation. They just are.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate you and your support as you always do.
Yes,
Want to jump
appreciate you.
around real quick because there's a couple of comments related to this situation. One, Steeman, thank you for letting me know this. ESPN did report that there were trades being talked about for Justin Herbert. That's even more interesting now because you couldn't get it done, and now he's still there. Now, my guess is if it's me, you have a solid point. I still like Alt better at the left, and I think Darisaw is more versatile, so I'd probably move Darisaw to right is what I would do. We'll see what they want to do. And it looks like the next pick's in.
It is, and I know it's tough. Some of you guys try not to put it in the chat. Try not to. We'll talk about it.
Please. Yeah, we will get there. It is Malik Neighbors, and you see we are getting updated. Literally, I'm on satellite, and it updated as fast as the website did. So
can I just really quickly, thank you, Giants. Thank you. I understand that Daniel Jones had a good year. Last year was not great. Your offensive line's been awful. You haven't given him any weapons. You finally did it. And hopefully you're going to take your medicine and let him start this year and then maybe cut him next year. Maybe all I know is that I'm a Daniel. I don't know how I ended up being the guy that's like fighting for Daniel Jones to be the starter. I like Daniel Jones. My fantasy teams like Daniel Jones, and this helps me personally. And I'm very, very happy for this. So thank you for getting him a player that is going to make electric plays in the NFL. And he desperately, desperately needed that.
Okay, fair enough. I'm with you. Steven, thank you. Roman and Harbaugh, start working on those handoffs to Herbert. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Thank you, Steven.
But now they have the base that they can protect him a little bit. So the next thing is going to be you're going to see them go probably back-to-back wideouts in the next couple of picks they have. They have some solid, because they had such a terrible season, they have some solid picks. So we'll see where they land. But Steven, thank you for the support. We appreciate you very much, as we do all of you. If you're new to us and don't know us, he's Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. Film, athleticism, strength coach, physiologist.
Film too. Don't let him downplay it. He does film.
I don't do as much film as you do anymore. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair.
But we have a different perspective. If you're here for the fan shout outs and that kind of thing, we're analysts first. We're professional. We work in this industry for that reason. So bear with us as we try to run down. And even though it's not Chiefs related, we're going to run down every pick here and give you our takes on them.
All right.
So I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything else on the alt selection, and I did. So thank you, Chiefs since Super Bowl. Appreciate you. 4. Appreciate the sentiment. And yes, it would have been definitely a pleasantry. Yes. It just sucks that he goes to a division rival. Yeah. There's worse things that could happen. But yeah, I think it would have been a nice story. And I know that they were heavily invested in him last year. I just don't know how far that went.
Yeah, it's going to be honestly, it's good to see him go this high. And it's nice to see legacy picks be able to come into the league and like be top 5 picks. Like that's a really cool thing to see. It's not always that talent translates to your kids, but that's really cool to see happen. So happy for him. Sucks that it's in division, but and their offensive line got better. Period. End of story. It got better today, and that's something that one they desperately needed, and the Chiefs didn't want to see happen. But you can't help where they pick. They're picking at 5 for a reason, and they might be picking inside the top 10 again next year. So we'll just kind of wait and see. And with that, I'm going to head on over to football, guys. If you want to talk some fantasy football and stuff, I will be back in roughly a half an hour. Don't take it too hard on Ryan and just survive. I'll be back. I'll be back shortly.
All right. We'll see you in a bit. So I'm probably going to leave the graphic up there without Dan on anyway, but you know. I like to remember when he's not here. I am ready in case it happens, folks. I'm gonna give you this just so that we. So here's the bottom line, and we'll go back to the board. And the board, it's gonna work. I'm not terribly shocked here. Neighbors is gone. You see that my number 1 receiver is still available. He is. According to ESPN, the most recommended fit for the Titans. So I'd hate to see Rome go to the Titans, but it is what it is. It's been pretty chalk as we have theorized to this point. But With Joe out off the board, it does get you to your secondary needs and your secondary concepts, in that if you want one of the others, you probably have to be working a trade right now. I do think there's probably more talks being discussed. There are other players here. Obviously, no one that we don't have a first round grade has been selected yet. So kudos to the NFL. The first 6 picks, they've all been first round worthy by our estimation. So congrats, guys. I'm glad that you pull that off, and try not to screw the rest of it up. We are approaching what we're going to get there, and maybe I can make this a little bit more feasible without Dan in the picture to give you guys, there we go, give it a little bit more emphasis. So the pick is in. We're going to get to that when it comes on for the Tennessee Titans. And in the meantime, we're going to keep going. If you are not subscribed to this channel, if you would, we would really appreciate it. If you want to get in on all the things that we do, NFL33.com and RogueAPC.com are the places to go. So we'll see more. We're going to obviously break down tonight a recap of what the Chiefs do. We will be here through its entirety tonight, its entirety tomorrow, and we will have multiple streams on Sunday so that we can break it up a little bit when the Chiefs aren't on the clock. Things do go fast, but we will break everything down for you. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your sentiment here, Greg. Thank you very much. We 100,000 subs as well. So if you're not a sub, you can help us get there right now. Things do happen for a reason, and everybody in Chiefs Kingdom works hard. There's a lot of great contributors and creators in this space. We've been here quite a long time, and we do things in a certain way that maybe doesn't get as many subs. That's okay, because we do it because we want to do this kind of work for you guys and for us, as well as everybody else in the league that might be watching and certainly has had some interest in the past. So we appreciate it. And hey, like, sub, hit that bell. That's the way it goes. Whiskey, what do you think? Do you guys think that the pressure of a three-peat will push KC to trade up? I don't know that it's the thresher necessarily the three-peat. I think it's more about the class and that we don't have a ton of grades. Let me flip back here. That really think that we can help the Chiefs out after a certain level. And so it really is about probably similar to what the Chiefs have. Now, they might have a different order, particularly here in the tackle group itself, but it's still light. It's still light and slight. They have to try to get something done. And that's probably the more impetus, in my opinion, is that they know that these 6 guys are the top tier. These 4 guys, you might throw in Paul, although I do think Paul is a little bit degraded from there. That's the second tier. Blake, Paul, and Kieran would be my third tier. The Chiefs might have it a little bit different, but they don't have a lot of room to maneuver. I think that's the biggest limitation in this draft is that tackle group. And I think that's probably the thing that adds the most pressure in making them have to try to go up, because other teams are trying to do it too. Now, we haven't seen any trades actually happen yet. So a lot of discussion, but not a whole lot of actual connection yet. I'm interested to see who gets the first trade done. And we know that the Titans are coming off the clock here. We're going to go back to their selection here in a second. But as it comes in, we'll have it for you. But I think it's the class, not the three-peat. I think they probably are squared away on that. And I'm guessing, if I know Brett Veach at all, they have a solid plan for what this roster is going to look like. So that said, as they make this pick, hopefully pretty soon, we're going to let that happen. Back to the questions. Jonathan, thank you. Also, a fellow Jayhawk, Rock Chalk buddy. Appreciate you. I hope we can get the O-lineman Pooney later in the draft. I hope so as well. I heard a couple of things today that make me think that he is rising, not rising, that he's higher than we thought. The Titans are taking. They do take J.C. Latham. So Latham goes drastically high, in my opinion. They're drafting as though they still feel like they're a run-first team. I don't know that that's great. Now, Latham is a solid athlete. He's super strong. He's got a little bit about getting out of his stance that bothers me from time to time. His pad level comes up, but he's a wall of a man. And I think that's most likely what they're concerned with. is that they want to put a wall in front of Will Levis. I don't know that they're worried about him having to run around, so they're not looking for like a zone type that can get out in front of him and block when he has to break the pocket. If he breaks the pocket, he's running to the sideline to get out of bounds. That's what Will Levis is going to do. He's not going to do much more. So I can't say that I'm totally shocked by what they just did. I wouldn't be super happy with it if I was a Titans fan, but it is what it is. Let's get some of these guys marked off the board here is what I want to do next. So we're just doing simple strike throughs. At least we should be. There we go. When guys are selected. Now, we may note later if the Chiefs pass on someone of significance, but we do know that these two receivers have gone, and we have seen 3 quarterbacks go. And that, for review, is where we are. I think as we move forward, it's going to get a little bit interesting right now. It doesn't look like the Falcons are trading out right now. I think they would have had it done. They are still sitting on the clock, and I think that's where they're going to be for a bit. But there are plenty others that I think are worth looking at, especially if I get our layout fixed here. And we have Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. 1, 2, 3. A lot of folks thought that was the way that it was going to go, and it turned out that it did. Marvin, I didn't think they were going to take Alt, but they did in Los Angeles. Not happy about it, but there's nothing we can do. And they came back, and Neighbors goes, and then Latham. Latham is a reach, in my opinion, but happy to have him do it in Tennessee. Not a problem. The real question is, what are the Falcons thinking? This shouldn't be much of a problem. I'm baffled that they're baffled. So I think what we'll do is kind of hang tight. I need to secure some more of your questions because I know you guys have been asking them. It's been a bit, and I'm just collecting some now. So if you have a question, if you definitely want to get on the show tonight, throw a super chat in there, any amount. We appreciate the support, and it definitely helps us find them. Will thinks Atlanta's going edge. I think it's a little early for that myself, but hey, if that's what they choose to do, that's what they choose to do. And yes, please, guys, stop with the spoilers. I'm doing my best to have it announced and hit the screen as soon as humanly possible. So we might be a little bit behind you depending on what you're watching. So if you would please just leave it be so that everybody can find out at the same time that we do. We're going to run with that. Thundarius, at some point, we're going to do that, buddy. It's definitely coming. Yeah, I'm baffled here a little bit. Yes, Terry, that's the question of the night. I think they should. I don't think they're able right now is my guess. Dan had another stream that he has to do because he does the draft podcast for Cover One. He works at a couple of other sites. So Travis, he stepped away for a minute. He'll be back here in a bit. Don't worry. Should the Chiefs do anything, he'll be right back. And Will's calling it that it's Dallas Turner. You may not be wrong, buddy. I mean, that is a good educated pick. So I still think sorry, I got distracted here by Richard's comment. Are they really? Okay, well, leave it to Kent. He'll lock it down. We actually did a pretty good job. We did not get into that the other night. If you guys missed the draft summit, we do it every year with KCSN guys because we have a blast with it, and we all kind of do our own thing until then, and then it's kind of a revelation and a relaxation. And Ken and I were the only two that had beers the other night, so now I guess it's Maddie and Craig's turn. So, and if you're one of the viewers from Wichita, I hope I didn't scare you showing up on your news the other night. For those of you out in San Francisco, I appreciate all the kind words. There's quite a contingent of Chiefs fans in San Francisco, of all places, if you guys didn't know that. And so I did some news and radio out there as well. So cheers to all you guys, and I appreciate your kind words. Any questions in? I'm just grabbing them now, and we'll get back to it here shortly. And I'm going to be surprised. The broadcast is talking about would Penix go here, and I don't know. I would love it because I think Penix is exactly where he would be. He should be, by my grades, the next guy off of the board. And they do take Michael Penix. So the quarterbacks have come off 1, 2, 3, and 4 as my top 4. Boom, boom, boom. The long power arm is going to get a year to sit behind Kirk Cousins. He's going to learn the offense. And when Kirk gets hurt or Kirk falls down in performance, they will slam him in there, and that left-handed monster will uncork a howitzer. And finally, London and Pitts will have somebody who can get them the ball. They're both contested catch artists. Penix will throw it into a dime hole if he has the chance. If they hadn't given up to acquire Cousins, I'd say this was a great move. I'm a little perplexed that you went and got Cousins and now you're adding Penix, but stranger things have happened. I know a lot of you guys are in the same kind of situation, right? Like, thank you. Rome Odunze is on the board and the Bears are too. If there's a place where the Chiefs could trade to either get the wide receiver or the tackle, it might be right here. So Minotaur, no worries, man. Everybody, I blow a lot of them too. You never know when something's going to happen like that. And this is exactly it. Fansda, this is exactly it. They've seen the Patrick Mahomes concept, the plan, the way that it worked. This is exactly that same thing. Kudos to Terry Fontenot for following along what is right in front of everyone in the league, is that if you give an insane, literally like the strongest arm I've seen, Penix's arm is could be stronger than Mahomes. It's stronger than Herbert's. It's borderline on Mahomes and Josh's. It's nuts. And that's enticing. And so I think you nailed it here. That's exactly what they're doing, is they are going to go get somebody that can learn. And I think that's great. I just don't understand why you gave up the money on Kirk Cousins. I don't know if Kirk Cousins is a guy that's going to teach him anything, but we're going to see. Unfortunately, it does appear that the Chiefs did not trade in to number 9. So my guess is the Chicago Bears are going to catch lightning in a bottle. Kudos to Ryan Poles. He's going to get Caleb Williams, the number 1 wide receiver, quarterback, and he's going to get Rome Odunze, my number 1 wide receiver, and he's going to put them together. If you saw on the pre-draft coverage, they actually flew into Detroit together. That was interesting and intriguing to me. So a lot of craziness going on here. Whiskey, thank you for your question before. I just wanted to get that in case I missed it last time. Jonathan, I got yours as well. So yes, we hope that Pooney will come along. Cody, yes, we are going, brother. Nice to see you back, and thanks for jumping back in the memberships. It was this time last year where we were drinking beers, so appreciate you. How amazing of a pick would it have been to have been offered to trade Harrison Butker? Isn't it wild that I feel like I need a top 10 pick to trade our kicker? Man, Harrison rules. He's an incredible leg. I don't think the Chiefs would see it that way. I think they would either just say, no, we won't trade him, or they would probably let him go for less. Kickers, man, he's so unique. You have to appraise him that way, because most of them aren't worth salt. So it's just the way that it goes. I think as long as he stays healthy and we don't let him get run into, he's going to end up being one of the epic kickers of all time. JAC 226, nice to see you. If you can reach on a tackle, is it worth it possibly having the 5th year as opposed to waiting to round 2? I see what you're saying, and I wouldn't even classify it as a reach. I wouldn't classify Felix last year as a reach. If you're stuck at 32, you're not going to get somebody. That's what I feel like. If you have other options and you reach and you go out of your organizational's actual evaluation. If you're stuck at 32 and there's nobody on your board, as you can see on my board, there's nobody that is worth that. Looks like the Bears are taking It is Roma Dunze. Kudos to Ryan Poles, our ex-pal. It is incredible that he's been able to pull this off. The board fell exactly how he wanted it, and this is going to be a matchup that is going to be freaking scary. I'm glad the Chiefs aren't in the NFC. We might be able to see them get to the point where the Bears could win their division this year, be a playoff team. I would love to see that. And eventually, with Caleb and Rome together, that could be a matchup for Patrick's 5th or 6th Super Bowl. I think that'd be great. We're going to see it. But, Jayhawk, back to your question. The 5th year is worth it. And if you're at 32 anyway, it's take the best guy that you have. And if it is a tackle, it should be a tackle. Because the guys in the second round that I have very high are Guyton, Kingsley, and Roger Rosengarten. Any of them could play. I think Mims could fall. And a lot of people are scared of Mims. I have some concerns about his ability to play consistently due to injury. It would definitely be something that's worth exploring. So I will not argue with that whatsoever in any way. Now, the Vikings are on the clock here. And I'm not sure why they felt they had to go and do that. But, hey, stranger things have happened. I was not expecting to see that actually come through. But it looks like, and I'm trying to get the details here, folks. Looks like the Jets have swapped places on a trade, and the Vikings are on the clock right now, meaning their guy was going to go, is what that looks like. Let me see if I can get some details on that. But as we flip back over to the draft board and we take another look at that, what we're going to see is that Penix now goes. Good for him. Exactly where I had him as the number 4 quarterback. And Ruma Dunze goes at number 9. Kudos to him as well. That's impressive. I think Bears fans should be super, super, super happy. I would be remiss right now. Dear mother, thank you. I'm glad you're happy. My mom was a Bears fan. She's been gone for a few years, but when the Bears do something good, I try to shout her out. So there's plenty more that they need to get done. I don't want to act as though the Bears are, a finished product. But what they've done here is very, very impressive in getting a little bit lucky, but understanding where you needed to go. So the good thing for the Chiefs is that Joel and J.C. Latham are the only tackles off the board so far. With Penix and Rome going back-to-back to Huskies in the national championship, I'm trying to get some details here on the trade, and I'm not getting it yet. So bear with me a minute. You guys may be getting it. They got a 4th and a 5th in this round. And so that's the really interesting part. Clearly, they're happy to get that kind of deal. I don't know why I wouldn't. I'm just a little surprised why you gave up 2 picks to move up 1 pick. Hey, good for them. It is what it is. If we get back to it, I'm going to switch this back out. Wrong version. And it looks like the pick's in for the Vikings. So they knew where they were going. They knew what they wanted to do. It's one of those deals. However, it may be surprising to me. It works for them. And that's what it's doing. Let's see. The Vikings traded number 11 and a 4th and a 5th to the Jets in exchange for number 10 and number 203. So you gave up a 4th and a 5th to go 1 spot, which doesn't make any sense unless there's someone else trying to trade in. Because if it was actually the Jets, you thought were going to take your guy, then you didn't, because they wouldn't give it to you. So someone else was trying to get to 10 with the Jets, and the Vikings had to give up this stash. And so they get back 10, but they also get 203, but they gave up their 4th and their 5th. That's a pretty hefty price. So it looks like the pick is in now. We should hear it announced here in a second. Please, if you are ahead of us, please don't put it in the chat. We're trying to enjoy this together and actually see it as it comes through. So if you already know, please just hold on, okay? I don't think that they were going to trade Justin Jefferson. I think, hey, he was not involved in the trade as I saw it. So hey, let's hope that's the case. Ben Sinnott in the third. Let him play behind Kelsey. I like that. I think you nailed it, to tell you the truth, Kazin. Let's take a look here. If I remember correctly, I have Ben Sinnott right there in the third, slightly above Jatavian Sanders. So I like the way you're thinking. I think people have been overinflating him a bit. I don't think Senate, and I got to remember to say Senate. I don't think he's a second round pick, in my opinion. Yes, he tested well, and yes, he's got some talent. I think Dan's higher than I am. When Dan gets back from the fantasy show, we'll have him give you his opinion as well. But I think that's I think that's fair to say. I don't think I'm going out a limb or certainly not talking trash on anybody. I'm just saying, in my evaluation, I see him as a third rounder as well. Okay, I'm still baffled here. Still baffled at who you were so desperate to come up and get. If you're Minnesota, maybe it's JJ. I don't know. You're out of the top three in the wide receiver group. Let's go back to the board. And then, again, folks, this is my board that I'm showing. You can get this for free over on NFL33.com. If you're not a subscriber already, go ahead and get in on that. But you can see here, Thomas would be the next wide receiver on my board. I don't think anybody's going to go Worthy or Donovan Mitchell this high. So take that off. The question's going to be, is it J.J. McCarthy? Could it be Bo Nix? Is that the Broncos that were trying to get to the Jets? And that's why the Vikings had to do that. I don't know. It could be. I have Bo Nix as the next quarterback to go on my board. And that is because while he doesn't have the deep arm and he's not as athletic as JJ, he is athletic. He is opportunistically athletic is the way that I would put it. He can do for you things that you need him to do, especially red zone runs. He has a knack for getting into the end zone. The thing that I like about him the most is between rushes and throws, he was like 53-3 in turnover ratio. He scored 53 touchdowns, gave up the ball 3 times. He'll take care of the ball. He'll keep it in play. You will not lose because of Bo Nix. This is not the Auburn Bo Nix. This is the Oregon version, and I think he's ready for the future. He's the next quarterback on my board. I do have him in the second. Now, we know quarterbacks get pushed up, so I do expect him and JJ to actually go here in the first round. But he is the next one. So far, I did flip Jaden and Drake. I had those flip, but my top 4 so far, I'm 100%. Let's hope that Bo is next, especially if it comes here with the Vikings pick coming in as the commish takes the stage. Again, please, if you have the sleepers, keep it to yourself. Who do I need to block? Okay, so George, you are on timeout. Do it again, and you're out. Don't come back. I don't know how to make it any plainer. I can ask nicely, and then I just get mad. So, sorry, folks. I took care of that for now, and if we have to ban him for life, we will. Oh, now your stream is ahead. Okay, well, mine must have slipped a little bit because I'm still a little bit behind, and so that's kind of what I'm going off of right now. Let's see. Getting the rest of your questions. We're going to get back to it after this pick. I know that the commission gets a little windy sometimes. So I'm praying for Kinsley Suamataia or Patrick Paul at 32. I think they will both be available. By my board, they should be. And I think I'm pretty close on those across. I've been good on the quarterback so far. We'll see. Looks like the pick is in. And they do take JJ. So I flipped JJ and Bo, but they take JJ here at 10. So clearly, I think it was the Broncos that was trying to go to the Jets and get in front of the Vikings. So the Vikings had to give stuff up. That is the scenario that I am guessing led to this trade up, which honestly was a bit of a mess for them. I don't think they got good value. Sorry, I've got to put this back on. So the Jets are on the clock now at 11, where the Vikes were. And so you can see here, JJ goes at 10. I would have taken Knicks. I'm not too worried about it either way. They came out graded nearly identical on my board. So that's fine. I do think at this point, Bo Nix is likely going to be a Denver Bronco. So you're going to have two Pac-12 quarterbacks coming into the AFC West. I'm sorry, not two quarterbacks, two players coming into the AFC West. In Joe Alt, and then I think Nix is likely to go there. We'll see what happens. That's not terrible trouble, but it's something to keep an eye on. Not terrible picks in either way. We'll see what happens next. I want to get back to your questions. Eric, thank you for waiting, and I appreciate the support, buddy. Rock Chalk. Hope we can get a tackle tonight. I'm hopeful as well. And I would be happy to see Troy Franklin available at 64. I would too. I don't think he lasts that long. We both like Troy. I think I'm a little higher on him than Dan is because of his frame, but I don't think he's going to get out of the 50s. So again, maybe the Chiefs are working to move up here somewhere. This is so far unfolding like I kind of thought it would, where the Chiefs are going to let things fall until they have to make a move. What we're pretty lucky in seeing, and Eric, thank you for your support and your super chat. Appreciate you. I'm going to take you off here just so I can show the board as much as I can right now. The lucky thing that we're into is the only tackle that I had the Chiefs matching with that I would be happy with them taking in the first. Only one of them's gone. It was Joe Alt, unfortunately, but there's only one gone. So for the Chiefs right now, it's actually falling pretty well. This is 5 quarterbacks off the board in the top 10. I had somebody tell me that, someone that I trusted a while ago, that, hey, man, in the end, I think you're going to see a run right at the top on the quarterbacks, and everybody's going to be kind of scrambling after that. That's exactly what's happened. 5 quarterbacks in 10 picks. That's pretty impressive. Now, again, folks, if you're in here, do not put the pick in the chat, please. I hope everyone will listen. I don't want to ban anybody else, and I don't want to ban anybody permanently, so hopefully George figured it out. Just looking for other questions, and we will get there. And Blackbird, I'm going to come back to yours. You're absolutely right. I really hate having dead air, but on a stream like this, folks, where we're going 3 or 4 hours, every now and then I'm going to have to clear my throat or something like that. So I thank you guys for bringing this up. I never asked for this enough, and I know that I should. I'm a bad YouTuber. Forgive me. But Tommy, thank you. And Aztec, thank you. I really hope that is good. Thank you for liking this video. Sub to the channel if you're enjoying it. When Dan gets back, we'll have a little bit more back and forth. This is not our normal, but we both have responsibilities at our other media outlets on nights like this. I could be called away for a couple of minutes for Locked On. We will be doing a post-game whole episode, post-game, post-round whole episode on Locked On Chiefs. So stay tuned for that. Chris and I will run over there and get that done once the Chiefs pick and the stream is over. Thank you, Too Quick. Appreciate you as well. A lot going on here. I don't mind that I was not as high on JJ as the rest of the league was. They got it right, in my opinion, on Penix, so good for them and good for me. I do think Bo is probably not far away from going because the drop-off after Bo Nix is steep. And here's the Jets selection. And here it goes. Olaf Fashanu goes to the New York Jets. Protect Aaron a little bit. That makes some sense to me. The other thing that it makes sense to me is this is where it starts. This is the run. We are at pick 12 now for the Denver Broncos. I think that's going to be a quarterback. And with Penix gone, the Raiders aren't taking him. So I'm really surprised at what – I will be really surprised at what the Raiders do. I don't know that they go offensive tackle, but honestly, they could. And so for me right now, I am furiously trying to get to the Saints. I'm trying to get to the Seahawks. I'm trying to get maybe even to the Colts, although I don't think the Colts should trade with the Chiefs. But having a friend there does help. And with Penix off the board, I think that the Seahawks were probably interested in him as well. And that has now not happened. So for fear of tackle run starting right now, the Chiefs should be just crushing the phones. Excuse me. Let's get back to the question. So Corbin, thank you, buddy. Appreciate the question. What's your opinion on Keon Coleman? I would like to see him over Leggett. I can get down with that. I believe I have it exactly like that on my board. No, I lied. I'm right. I do have Keon in the second at the bottom of it. And I have Leggett just behind McMillan in the third. Now, again, it's rare for me to put 7 guys on any one position group in a single round. But with this wide receiver group, that's what we've had to do. So this is a little bit, it looks more spread out than it actually is. My grades on from Pearsall down to Leggett are all very tight. They are not huge differences, but that's exactly how I have it, Corbin. So I like the way you're thinking, that both of them going to be close to the borderline there across the second to third round, obviously all on day 2. So that works just fine. Bill, tell someone to trade up for Fasciano. Sorry, they already bid us to it. I want those tiny hands in Kansas City. Not going to happen now, unfortunately, but hey, I do think that they are working to get someone. I don't know who it's going to be, but they are working to get someone. And with Fasciano off the board to the Jets, Broncos, I think, are going to go quarterback, take Bo Nix, and walk away. They've been rumored to be very happy with him, and they didn't have to do anything to get him. So he's in their lap. They should take him. If Sean Payton doesn't take him, he's not very smart because Zach Wilson ain't it. If they do not take Bo Nix with this next pick, the Denver Broncos, then just throw a party because the Broncos ain't going anywhere fast. And I think right now, as I live not in Denver itself any longer, I will probably see the city light on fire if they do not take Bo Nix right now. Thoughts on the Eagles extending Brown and Smith for big money? Naz, thanks for the question. We covered this earlier in the show, but I know it's a night-long stream, so you never know what's going to happen. I think we're both a bit surprised, but honestly, it's just the dollar amounts. Both of them deserved the extensions. So it's not for a lack of quality play. It's just the fact that you're paying him, what was it, 3 for 96 with 70-something guaranteed? That's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's quarterback money from 2 years ago. That's how fast things have changed. And I think that's probably what sets me a little uneasy is my thought. Now, hopefully my voice will hold up. Usually it does, but all of a sudden it's starting to get a little bit iffy. Any Washington State Cougars in this draft that fit well with the Chiefs? The first one that comes to mind is Brennan Jackson, an edge rusher 3 that I do think has some significant upside by Biz. Sorry, I thought that was Bioza. I do like his fit. Smith has some, there's a hyphenated DB's name that I always mess up. Chow Smith-Wade is the other guy from Wazoo that I do think deserves to be drafted. He's right up the alley for the Chiefs, somebody that's going to go on day 3 that they don't have to put a huge pick in. But I do think we're probably going to have to wait on both of them until mid to late day 3 and see what happens. But I can see both of them being fits in Kansas City. Seen a mock draft with the Chiefs taking the Washington tackle for their second pick, as in at 64. Troy Fautanu will not last. I doubt he's there at 20. If he gets to the Pittsburgh Steelers at 20, I think they take him. So there's no way and I can foresee Troy Fautanu not going in the first round, let alone at the bottom of the second. So Derek, whoever put that one out, I would question their information unless they happen to live in Seattle and know everybody. I'm a little surprised by that one. Let's see. Big Jack, hope you're well. I know it's only round 1, but Dallin Hooker in the 5th, please. The guy is big-bodied and moves really smooth, a lot like Kelsey. He does. He doesn't have the wiggle or the slant to him, but he accelerates and he decelerates well. Go watch the Colorado tape. it's just the best example against the best competition that he's had. I've been a Holker fan all season, going back to September when I first saw him. And I do think he would be a great addition. He should be a day 3 pick. And I think he's somebody the Chiefs could look at as 5th roundish, maybe, depending on where they fall. I think there's an option there. Let's see. Sorry, Kevin. You can see how far behind I am. Possible QB to Atlanta. Yes, you nailed it there, my friend. Sorry it took me so long to get to it. Let's see here. Addicted. If JJ goes in the next few picks, does that end the talks of trading back? Not necessarily. It does put a hurting on him, though, because I'm trying to think. It would then be the wide receivers. If the Chiefs get to 32 and JJ, and now I expect here, I don't know what the holdup is, actually. I would think they would be announcing the Broncos pick already, but maybe not. Again, if you're in the chat, please not play the picks in the chat. Don't spoil it for everybody else. We're all spread across the country and the world, actually. Yeah, looks like we're in 7 countries right now. So welcome into the chat, everyone, no matter what time zone you're in. But some of us are ahead, some of us are behind. Please don't put the picks in the chat. We just want to keep this nice for everyone. Oh, and Derek put something in here. I'll get to that in a second. As the Broncos are taking, they do take Bo Nix, as I thought that they might. And so now my top 6 quarterbacks are all off the board, nearly in the order that I had them, but I certainly nailed all the top 6. Sorry, I got to toot my own horn there because I had Bailey Zappi in my top 5 a couple of years ago. People called me crazy, and that's exactly what happened. So I nailed that quarterback class too, but just wanted to put that out there. If you're Brandon Perna and you want to talk trash to me again, feel free because I just nailed your quarterback, buddy. So Derek, you were talking about Roger Rosengarten, and I understand your question a little bit better. I'm sorry that I didn't get that right the first time. And I'm glad that I scrolled down to see your second comment. Yes, I have Roger as a 2nd round pick. I have him at a position that equates basically to 50 to 54 is the little gap that I would put him in. If he were there at 64, I would definitely take him. He's a guy that can come in and let, I think, Juwan go over to the left-hand side, and Rosengarten can play right. He has a possibility and has played left in the past. He just didn't do it at Washington. So I think there are other options there. Now, old friend Las Vegas Raiders are now on the clock. So we're going to watch their clock tick down here. Looks like I said something wrong. Oh, Jack, I love that you have a good memory. That's awesome. 6 QBs in the first dozen. Yeah, good point, Cole. Half of the first dozen picks are quarterbacks. That's pretty remarkable. And just to finish up on Addict's question, it doesn't end all the trade back talk. You probably won't get as much now because it's likely going to be either one of the few defensive prospects that could still be there or a wide receiver that somebody's coming up for. And I think the volume position is probably something that will keep the value a little bit lower. So can Morse develop into a replacement for Smith after next year? If he got a whole year of starting, I think yes. I do think that's within the realm of possibility. I just don't know if that's the way that it'll go. If he could stay there, I would be a little bit surprised if he could stay healthy that whole way. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. But I think I see upside in Wanya Morris, and I do think that he can be a swing tackle. I think he could even play on the right if he needs to. Again, if they try him left, if none of this works out and they have to keep trying him at left, I think Wanya can go over to the right-hand side and let Juwan flip and have some time. You know what I mean? I'm not too worried about that. I think one way or the other, Wanya Morris is going to be a piece that plays in this team. He might be the swing tackle. He might be the right. He might be the left. But I do think right now is the time the Chiefs should be hammering the phones to try to get up as we speak, now that Olu's off the board. So Dan's top tackle goes. My number 2 tackle goes. We're going to flip back over to the board here and cross those guys off. So we now have Olaf Shanu off the board, and Bo Nix and JJ are both. Oh, I must have missed hitting JJ. So in the top 12, all 6 of my top quarterbacks go. Half of the selection so far are quarterbacks. An absolute reversal from Kenny Pickett's class. Now we're down to the interesting guys. Best tackle available on my board is Troy Fautanu. I'm guessing Dan agrees with me. Marius Mims is more of a guess, but he's there. Let's see what the Raiders do, because they're coming up right now. And what they decide to do, I think for them is pretty smart. Now that Dan's back, we're going to let him fume a little bit.
This, guys, can you trade Michael Mayer to the Chiefs, please? Why'd you draft him?
Yeah, if you're not,
There's no so this is how bad teams stay bad. Just is, okay? The Raiders have no quarterback.
Yeah.
They have no quarterback. Gardner Minshew's not it. Now, maybe this plan in place is to not be good again and then draft a quarterback next year. But then guess what? Devontae Adams is not going to want to play here anymore. He's going to want to get traded. You think players on your team are going to want to keep playing for you hard, Antonio Pierce, when you obviously don't care enough to win with a quarterback? You let Josh Jacobs go in free agency, and you have Zamir White, who's not a workhorse running back by any stretch, and he's not that good. So what are we doing here? All right. I'm fine with this. I'm fine with it. Brock Bowers doesn't scare me catching passes from Gardner Minshew. Doesn't scare me.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
I left and crazy shit started happening.
Yeah, buddy. Man, I tell you what, let me get your reaction. Let's go back a little bit. Looks like I had it right on most of the quarterbacks. A couple of guys flipped, but I had Penix as 4, and I was pretty much the highest on him of anyone I knew. How surprised are you by that?
I understand it to an extent. It's too high. I think that there's too many questions about him as a quarterback. And I was talking with football guys, and Matt Waldman is very high. He had him as his quarterback too. And I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't think he's as good an athlete in the pocket as Matt does. I think that he's Pac-12 good in the pocket. Michigan showed that game showed what you do to him when you fluster him. It's not good. The passes go into the dirt. They become inaccurate. If you move him off of his spot, it's not good. He's not a very great athlete in the pocket, and I just don't understand it at 8 to that extent. I also don't think he's getting much better. I'll be honest. I think he is a quarterback. What he is now might be what he is the rest of his career.
I disagree. So, I think he can fix his pocket presence. I think he needs to be coached up on that particular thing, because the mechanics of throwing the ball and moving it down the field, I think, are hard to beat in this class.
But these teams don't care about that. They don't care about fixing mechanics, specifically teams that are going to be, if Kirk Cousins isn't healthy, Michael Penix can get thrown to the fire. He's going to be playing.
Yeah, and that was the big thing in versus drafting at 8. I got to look up their staff. That's what I got to do. Maybe we'll do that while we're on the board here.
Sorry, no, you're fine. I'm also not confident in defensive-minded head coaches going all in on offense. It doesn't usually work out. It just doesn't. And I like Raheem Morris, but typically, if we're playing the numbers, it doesn't work out. So I understand the plan. Trust me, you got Kirk Cousins for 2 years. You take Michael Penix in the first round, you have years 3, 4, and 5. All right. We think we're in our window. But your defense sucks. You think Raheem Morris is going to be able to get the most out of that defense? I get it, but it's not very good. It's just not. Yeah. You need guys at every level, and we'll find out. That's all we'll say. We'll find out.
Yeah, we will definitely find out. I am frantically right now looking at who the quarterback coach is in Atlanta, because I do not know that off the top of my head. I probably should, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you right now. Don't be surprised if the Chiefs end up taking a defensive player at pick 32. There have been 13 offensive players drafted, not one defensive player. I thought the Falcons should have selected Byron Murphy. That's what I would have done. Given Raheem Morris, Byron Murphy.
Yeah. I mean, he was in Tampa. He understands how to use guys that are undersized, that are penetrators. I totally get that. It's TJ Yates. That is the quarterback coach in Atlanta. A lot of experience. I can't say his track record is that he turns dudes around or educates them. But
I was about to say, does that sound familiar? It does, because he was a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
But a bad quarterback in the NFL.
Now, I hate to put white screen on here, but this is the key. Zach Robinson is running their offense now. He's had some stops along the way that make you think that he might be able to get something out of this. I think the most happy are one Kyle, another guy, Drake London. So they're going to have opportunities to win contested catches, which they both do very, very well. And when Panks gets in the ball game, he's going to throw contested catches.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Does not care.
Yeah, not at all.
He and Kirk Cousins share that element. They will throw the ball. It does not matter.
Yeah. Not too worried about it. Okay. I am probably behind on the comments. So I'm going to grab something for the top and we're going to get through this. Let's see. Got that one. Travis, what are your thoughts on Herbert to the Vikings and Chargers drafting J.J. Abrams? Obviously I missed that and we're way behind. Sorry, buddy. But we did understand there were some conversations about trading Herbert, which I think is crazy. But hey, it certainly sounds like a Charger thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Seattle wants QB to train up for the next year. Bo Nix will be gone. No quarterbacks at 32. Absolutely. And that's part of the problem, Steeman. Again, now for the Chiefs, with all six of the in my opinion, worthy, tradable, guys to go after at the quarterback position. Now they're all gone. Now is there somebody, either a defensive player who hasn't gone yet that somebody really wants at 32, if you're looking for a trade back, or is it a wide receiver? Again, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm still trying to go up frantically to get to the tackle they need. Saints pick is in and it ain't going to the Chiefs. So I agree with you. And Steeman, thank you for the support.
Appreciate you, Steeman.
Jack, how many draft records are going to be broken, including the bonehead moves? Probably multiple, Jack. I like the way you put that.
I'm still shocked because this is probably going to be another offensive player. Like, I assume the Saints are going to take a tackle. That's 14 straight. Has that ever happened before?
I think the record is 17, if I remember correctly. I haven't looked it up.
To start the draft?
Yeah, but
that's nuts.
I'm not surprised, though. I have Byron Murphy as the best defensive prospect on my board, period. And I don't have him until the 20s. Oh, no, I lied. I have Leatu Latu and Dallas Turner here in the teens. So anywhere in here is about where I had them. So maybe we'll get close. I had Verse in the 20s, Murphy in the 20s, Newton in the 20s. And then who else did I have?
Minotaur, the Raiders selected Brock Bowers at 13. That's who went.
Yeah, they have the tight ends that I like. We have similar taste in tight ends. Let me put it that way.
I'm upset. I'm upset because Brock Bowers is the best tight end in this draft, and Michael Mayer was my number one tight end last year. I'm upset. I'm just upset. Okay.
And they still have my guy Moreau, don't they?
Yeah, they still have. No, Foster Moreau was. Am I thinking of a different player? Maybe.
I'll look him up. Maybe he went somewhere.
I think Moreau had leukemia, did he not? And then he was released, and then he's on the Saints, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. I was not aware of that. I'm gonna have to find him anyway, because I do stuff.
Yeah, 19 is the record. Good Lord.
Yeah,
19 offensive players to start.
It's nuts. Here's the Saints.
I'm gonna say this is.
They take Fuaga.
This is good for the Chiefs. It's good for the Chiefs.
Yes.
The fact that we have two right tackles go, and obviously we knew Fashanu and Alt go. This is best case scenario with the top guys going so far. So that helps them for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited about that because if I flip this correctly, what we can see now is that there he goes. You have friends in Indianapolis. You know people and have worked trades before with Seattle. And then there's the Rams. I would like them to get in front of the Bengals.
Yeah.
That's just my personal preference. But there are options here. If they cannot get a deal done or they choose not to, when it gets to the Pittsburgh Steelers, they will start making better offers. Because if Fautanu and I think or Mims are there, I think they will make the move. I'm nervous about Mims, but I think they will give it a shot.
I think everyone's a little nervous about him because of inexperience and injury, which I get. Trust me, I get. And I know that Mitchell Schwartz is very against drafting players and moving them. I understand that. I get it. It makes sense. But also, we have it for word of mouth, and we know the Chiefs value flexibility. And Mitchell Schwartz was an all-pro, one of the best right tackles in the NFL for a long time. And one, you were never moving him to left tackle for a reason. Like he was all pro. He was never moving. He studied. He was a right tackle through and through. Today's NFL, like right now, it's a little bit different, especially because a guy like Mims did line up at left tackle in practice often, I'm told. Often. This was not unheard of for him. So, yes, it's uncomfortable. It is very difficult to transition, but you're not fighting a ton of experience playing right tackle. You're not fighting it. You're just saying, all right, well, let's go play at left tackle, and maybe you stay healthy there. So yeah, it's tough, but I would not be shocked.
Jason, thank you for the pleasant comments. This is my favorite way to watch the draft. Thanks for streaming.
Thank you.
Live streaming, much cooler. After each pick, you can give a 5-second info blip on the player for us. Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for trying to learn. Jason, thank you for being with us and coming to us for it. You have a lot of options right now. Everybody and their mom is streaming on this platform right now.
Very true.
Some of the big boys. So,
just real quickly, since you just said that, we have 1,300 people in here right now. Can you guys, give yourselves a round of applause for being in here? And thank you so much for the support. That's amazing. Because I was just with Football Guys. They got like 300 people in there right now. We have 1,300. That's fantastic. We love you guys. Thank you.
That's Rogue Nation at work, people. You rock.
Go get some
stuff.
And
I tell you, get some stuff. I have a couple of things. I got to, just so everybody knows, I have a great King of New York design for Patrick just destroying the New York teams. And I got it copyrighted within 30 seconds of putting it up back against the Bills. I've tweaked it enough that I might be able to get it by. So that's coming this summer. Look out for all the new gear, and we will have some new, obviously, draft pick oriented gear coming as well.
Just real quickly, I wanted to put this out here because this is not a bad thought, Peacemaker. I like this. I like this idea. I wouldn't like it if they drafted him. Ryan probably think it would be pretty awesome because he doesn't believe in Spencer Rattler. So
I believe I can beat him consistently. So hey, rock and roll, man.
I think Patrick can beat anybody consistently, so I'm not too worried about that personally.
I wouldn't say that it's out of character either. I have him right at the top of the third, Spencer Rattler. So I mean, it wouldn't be outlandish. So if you take him in the second, I'm not going to argue with that. And I would like to poke fun at some organizations, but I don't have to. I do have Pratt above him. I think I'm a rarity on that front as well, but I'm comfortable with that. I've definitely had some misses. For those of you who would like me to recount them, his name's Matt Corral, and he doesn't play in the league anymore, but I thought he would.
We've all got misses. Like I'm going to go back to my draft boards after this draft and kind of go through and say, what have I learned? I think that's one thing that I need to consistently do from specifically things like this. If I want to grow, look where I had guys ranked, kind of compare. How are they developing? One of the things that actually I'm going to be working on with Damian Parson after the draft is over, we're going to go through some of the guys that were really successful rookies and guys that weren't, and kind of look at their tape and say, well, why weren't they? Was it scheme fit? Was then not development? And that's also going to help all of you guys learn like what's happening. And then myself, like both of us are going to figure out, well, why did we have them higher? Why weren't we as high on them? Like it's going to be a lot of fun.
I try to do that as often as I can, and I try to put new metrics together to find out where I'm missing some things. I have some spots. Wide receiver technique is not my strength. That's why Dan did all the primary evaluations on the receivers this year. I did all the cross checks, and I have my own rankings, but Dan's the man, and he is much more offensively oriented towards wide receivers than I am, because I think they're all babies. But that's just
it's not their fault. They've grown in this weak environment.
right.
They don't have to. They don't have to worry about safeties crashing them over the middle of the field anymore. They don't have to worry about that stuff.
There are 11 guys on an NFL field, fellas. I hate to tell you.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
No defensive players in the top 10. No defensive players in the top 14 to this point. But the Indianapolis Colts are have their pick in, and it looks like eventually we should find out if the commissioner. I know he had back surgery, but have somebody else do the walk there, bro. Oh, Seattle.
I just hope he doesn't like fall over. You know, someone come up and give him a big old hug, and he just kind of like snaps.
Yeah, let's not do that. Oh shoot, Dan, I forgot to tell you. Do you have access to the brand down at the bottom, right? Just a little sidebar for me and Dan, right?
Oh, absolutely, I do.
So if you go all the way down there, the last little audio clip, we got to take off the repeating there for use, and I haven't used it once yet tonight. So,
oh, that's cool.
Just wanted to let you know it's there. Decimus, the Seahawks, the best trade up currently. I had hoped that they could get to 14. They obviously didn't. I think from what I understood from somebody who does work out there, they were interested in bringing Penix to Grubb's offense for the Seahawks, and he went so early. I think they might move on, but let's see what the Colts do because they're picking now. They take Latu right about where I had him on the board. So they are clearly comfortable with the injury concerns. This is Chris Ballard, and Chris does his homework, and he ain't scared. I'm just going to tell you. There's very few things that will move Chris Ballard off of where he wants to be. I had Latu right here, which for me is the 12 to 15 range. This is pick 15, so I'm going to call that a win for me. But I know you have some concerns, Dan. What would you warn, if Chris calls you tomorrow, what would you tell him?
Well, he's not a very good run defender, first off. He's not going to give you much in the run game. He's basically a designated pass rusher at this point. And we have seen guys like, Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald get taken very high and not produce early. The one difference in this situation is that Latu is the best studied technician pass rusher in the last 2 draft classes. Aiden Hutchinson is better than he is because he's a slightly better athlete, and that was
powerful athlete. Yeah,
3, and he's far more powerful. He can play against the run. So over the last 3 draft classes, it's in my opinion Aiden Hutchinson, and then it's Latu. Like that's how, and he is always in the film lab. He studies his opponent better than maybe any player I have scouted ever. That's ever. So I know people are kind of questioning because he had retired. He thought about retiring because of the neck injury stuff, which I get. If you have neck injuries, you might be considering retiring, but it's not for not love of the game. You don't spend that much in the film room if you do not love the game of football. Trust me, as a guy who spends a lot of time in the film lab, I love the game of football. I could speak for this very uniquely, like Ryan can. So it makes a lot of sense with a guy like Kwity Paye there in Indy already, who's going to be more of the maybe speed rusher, a little speed to power. You're going to match him with a technique guy, and they should be able to help each other, right? It would think that Latu would be able to teach some technique, some hand usage to a guy like Kwity Paye. So I like the fit. And the only reason I had him down on my board is because I do believe he is a designated pass rusher and the injury stuff. That's the only reason. Otherwise, he's the best pass rusher in this class, bar like 0 questions asked. He just is.
Yeah. And I pull this up, folks, so that when people ask you, nobody saw this coming, right? Well, yeah, I did. I had him the best defensive prospect on this draft. I had him number 1 on the defensive side. So just so you can say you told somebody. But I will also say this. I'm not going to call anybody out who happens to be in the physiological development program at UCLA. But I know for a fact they do not build NFL athletes. That is not their goal. They end up producing power technical guys, one or the other, not both. So I feel like despite the medical retirement and coming back, I haven't seen a lot of physiological development in Latu in the last 3 seasons. That makes me feel like that was a product of that environment. And when he gets to an NFL strength room, I think he will be able to develop some more power and rebuild himself into a more well-rounded athlete. So I expect him to actually improve.
Let's hope so. Like, that's what you want, right? He's gonna have to do a lot of that work on his own too. Let's be honest. The team is not going to develop him athletically. A lot of these guys, you have to learn the playbook. You have to learn what your job is on the team. Outside development stuff, like Josh Allen had to work. I think he was in a situation where they weren't developing him. They weren't, until finally he got in his own head to finally work on his mechanics. And he had Brian Dable say commit to it too. Sometimes it takes time because the NFL teams are not super emphasis on developing you as an athlete or as a mechanic. You're coming in, we're going to utilize you the best way we know how. So hopefully he's able to consistently get better on his own with better, I guess, access to more things that he needs to develop that side of his game.
Yeah, I completely agree. And Decimus, they have been, and I've had you up here for a while because they have been the best trade up. Doesn't look like they're doing it. They're staying on the clock. So looks like we're going to have to come up with plan C at this point, or maybe it's F by now. Yevgeny, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate you, buddy. Nice to see you. Welcome back. And Will, thank you. How far does Bowers need to go to fall for Casey's cancer? Sorry. This is how far I'm behind. I'm sorry, you guys. Especially for you super chatters. We appreciate you so much. Will, please throw in another one and I'll get you right back on. Actually, you already did, so here we go. Seattle could be where the KC makes their move. They're still on the clock. There's still like 3 minutes left, so I'm hopeful that could still happen. So, Will, from your mouth to God's ears, let's hope that's what happens. I want to see them not miss out on Fautano.
Right now, the Seahawks are going to probably take him.
That's my thought.
They're probably going to take him, but they have Charles Cross. So the pick is in. Right. So we're going to find out. It's Abraham Lucas.
Yeah, it's Abraham Lucas, another Washington State kid. He played at Wazoo. So if you're looking for the the local angle, I don't know if that's going to do it. Let's see. Red Hood, nice to see you. In case he drafts something besides LT, does that mean they firmly believe in Morris? They definitely believe in Morris if that's the case, but they also believe that they can get a veteran to come help. Likely Donovan Smith is my guess. They're comfortable going back to that well and letting those two maybe flip, and maybe Wanya is the guy who plays the majority of the games. I don't know. I know you're chuckling. Tell me why, though.
Comfortable going back to the well. Oh, just tons of pressure coming from the left side. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that they firmly believe in Morris. It means they couldn't get up. They just couldn't do it. And two, the tackles were gone. So I don't know. Right now, 3 receivers have been taken. That's it. If you count Brock Bowers, 4. Yeah. So what we've been kind of led to believe about the wide receiver room isn't such. And I do want to point out, if you guys look on my draft board, I have 3 receivers in the top 15 and 0 until the second round. So it's a good chunk fall from those top 3 guys. So that is just.
I got to pull it back up.
I mean, you should be able to. I don't know.
Should be. I closed it inadvertently. Sorry.
And what I do on my draft board is while we're drafting, I just label everything in blue. So all the players that have been drafted are blue. And so if you guys are, I don't know if that updates on the sheet or not when I'm going through and doing that, but whatever.
Not on the PDF, but it might on the main one. If you want to open that up and share that, let's do that because I have too many shares going in. StreamYard yelled at me. I'm bad.
Here we
go.
So
Seahawks pick is in. We're going to find out who they take. I am worried it is Fautanu. And there we go. Muy bien. Bada boom.
So I'm just going to manage this.
There we go.
Yeah. So you can see, as you can see, there's quite literally, I have Malik Neighbors here at about 15, and then Xavier Worthy and Keon Coleman in the second round.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we're also on the tackles here. Shanu, Alt, Fuaga, Latham, all with first round pick grades. So it does show you that this this is legitimately as good of an offensive class as we've seen in a long time. That's why we had 14 straight picks, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Our rankings on the tackles are very, very similar. You were just smart enough to realize that the league was going to take right tackles sooner than they should, in my opinion.
That's very true.
So well done. So you're nailing the tackle class. I've got the quarterbacks and so far the defensive side. The big thing's going to come down is if Brian Thomas goes in the first. It's the only difference we have in our first round wide receivers.
Yeah.
So
he probably will. I think he probably will. But again, inflation. I don't project for inflation in my grades, by the way. Otherwise, I would have had JJ McCarthy in the first round, and I would have had Michael Penix probably closer to the first round if I would have done it for inflation. But I don't. So
yeah, I don't put those in the grades either. I just stack the board accordingly. Sorry. I just did that again. Pick is in and he's walking up, I guess. Or maybe, sort of. Maybe. Who knows? Or they're going to do something totally different. So let's go back to our questions. If the Chiefs trade up at this point, sorry, the Raiders are on the clock. Klamath, thank you for putting that in there. Wicked smart. Who would they be trading up for? I really like Brian Thomas. I think that could come to fruition. If Mims and Fautanu go, so the top 6 quarterbacks are gone and the top 6 tackles are gone, they might feel like trading up for a wide receiver, even if it is Thomas or someone else that they like, is a better value than staying put or trading back for a third-tier tackle. So that's going to be, I think that'll be enlightening for us. We won't necessarily agree with it, but it'll tell us what they think of those individual players. Yeah.
It's all this really matters right now. And honestly, it's going pretty well for the Chiefs. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Like it's not bad by any stretch.
I agree with you. I was concerned that we would have seen Fautanu and Mims probably go to someone else already. I am shocked still that the right tackles went so high. But hey, if you want to be a runner, you can. Seahawks are taking. I guess I shouldn't turn away from the camera, but the commish is going to say.
Oh, boy.
Woo, mama.
Oh, boy. Let's go.
You remember that scene from The Matrix? Dodge this. That's what we just did.
Oh, man. That's okay. Okay. This is where it starts.
Let's get some.
These next 2 picks, Jacksonville is not going tackle. This is where Brian Thomas Jr. goes. That's where he goes.
If anywhere. Yeah, if anywhere, probably. Man, that feels good. I don't know that I've been as excited about a pick we didn't make in quite a while.
Right? But this is about where the receiver run starts, right? You figure Jacksonville, Cincinnati might even do it to replace to replace T. Higgins when he's gone. So I don't know, man. Why don't we get some of these questions through while we're sitting here waiting, because we got a lot stacked up too.
Isaac bouncing between KCSN, Cole. Does the Viking pick make us more likely the Chiefs to trade with them? They still have 23, and they could be a secondary pick now. Yes, they got their big check mark off their board, so that makes sense.
The Vikings just traded up.
Well done, Isaac. Perfect timing.
That's fantastic.
Crap. Okay.
All right. So who are they going to get? Who are they going to get?
That's the question. What did they give up? Good God.
She just sits there and looks at the door. She just sits here and looks at the door when she's in here.
I hope they're not reaching. I hope they're not reaching for another Michigan player, because it's way too early for Roman Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
If they feel they need to protect JJ in a specific way, I'm scared now that they might want Fautanu.
So wait. How's their interior look?
This
could be Graham Barton music. Vikings. Where are you? All right, so I'm looking. They've got Ed Ingram, Garrett Bradbury, and Blake Brendel. Blake Brendel? Who's that? I've never heard of that player before.
Jake Brendel?
No, that Blake Brendel.
Oh, okay. Never heard of him.
So maybe this is Graham Barton.
Could be. I would say he's probably the best interior player. He's top on my board, but he also has 3 position versatility in there at least.
Yeah, he can play right tackle. Maybe it's a defensive player to replace Daniil Hunter. Maybe they go get Dallas Turner, Jared Verse.
Yeah. Here it comes. It is Dallas Turner.
Dallas Turner.
So my number 2 defensive prospect is number 3 off of the board. Byron did get him by a little bit. Good for Byron. I do like Byron's energy, I got to say. If he had for some reason fallen, I like him coming against today. I would have enjoyed that.
Does anybody have the numbers?
Los
on the
numerals?
trade? I'm just going to look for the number, the trade.
I have it here.
All right. So
Vikings got
a 3rd and a 4th.
Yeah, they gave up 23 to go to 17 and 3, 4, 5
for 2025, right?
The 5th rounder is this year, and then 3rd and 4th next year. So, folks, if you're a Vikings fan, you happen to find us, welcome and thanks, because I think you're done with your draft.
Yep. Man, that was cool.
Wow. Okay, so they go in, and let's be real. They were aggressive. They had significant holes, and they went and they used nearly all their draft capital in a class that we understand is thin on day 3. They sacrificed those picks, and they filled 2 of the 4 most positions on a roster in a new quarterback and a new edge rusher. I think that makes sense, and if you're going to go down shooting, that's the way to do it.
Absolutely. Do you think the Bengals are about to take an offensive lineman?
I don't
right tackle?
think so. I don't think so. I could be wrong. I think they're stubbornly stuck. I think it's going to be a wide receiver. Who else did they lose recently?
What if it's Jared Verse? With I'm just saying.
The Trey Anderson? Yeah.
Trey Anderson requested a trade. Maybe it's a defensive end. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just spitballing here. Like, it feels like it's going to be wide receiver, but I think defensive end's on the table. I think offensive line's on the table. A guy like Graham Barton is definitely on the table for them, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Should be anyway, because you have tackle need, and he can play. I think he's a better right tackle in the league than he's going to be a left tackle if he's going to play tackle, but he is a day 1 interior starter now. He just is.
He's the best interior player in this draft to me. And I like what Powers Johnson does, but History Dave, thank you for your support, buddy. Thank you for hanging with us. And I'm so sorry we're so far behind you guys. Dub Freak, thank you, buddy. Big shout out for all the content you guys provide us all year. I'm keeping trading up. 3 a.m. gang over here in the UK. Nice, buddy. I appreciate you.
Love it.
I talked to Brad Simcox today, old Brit Chief. They got a new gig going. Check them out. All support to them over there. But they're staying up late tonight, too, so it's going to be a long stretch for everybody in the UK. Oh, thank you for your support, Dub Freak. PK, are we staying put or trading up? That's the question. I think it'll be an ongoing thing. If we get to 27, it's over, and they'll just stay put. I think they'll probably keep trying until then. If you would listen to PK and IMB, would you smash that like button? I usually say smash the button, but every now and then,
just smash it, y'all. Just smash it.
We're working. If you're at home drinking, you might as well smash it a little bit. I mean, let's get after it. You guys rock. That's why we're here. Thanks for the content. Thank you, Steven. It is great to hear that. And, sometimes we get carried away. Big Jack, if Mims somehow does fall and Casey picks him, do you move him to left or to the right and move Juwan to the left? That is going to be a conversation we have all through OTAs and probably through training camp as well.
Hell yeah.
I think they can both do both. The question is, do you throw him to the Wolves? Do you let him try to compete with Wanye? And do you trust him to be healthy? That's a lot of questions.
Well,
actually.
All I know is that we got some people in the chat that are spoiling the picks. So I know who the Bengals took.
Okay. I booted somebody while you were gone. So
please do not Please refrain from putting the picks in the chat.
Please, 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 please.
I don't want to boot you, but I will.
And hey, message of consent. Everybody chill. Dirty's here. I like the way you walk in a room, Dirty. Yeah, I did have to boot somebody earlier, Dan, so apologies. All right. Well, we're going to let you know when we know, and we're going to act as though we don't know, and you can act like that too, so that's perfectly fine. We have plenty of questions to get through, and I will try not to get angry. Next year, we need an on-screen graph that says, please no spoiling picks. You're not wrong, Thundarius, and I'll probably build it tonight. Okay.
This commercial's lasting far too long.
Yeah, it's a pain. All right, please, no spoilers, okay? Bruce Willis is a ghost at the end of The Sixth Sense. Well done.
No.
Well done, Biz.
Damn it. I was just getting to that movie, man.
Right? I knew you were. You knew it was a movie. Well done. I mean, oh, man. Okay, sorry. I can't do the latest ones. We're going to go, and we're going to go back to the top. So, top choice, two choices for Chiefs. As of now, how things have gone so far. By the way, this is how I've watched the draft the last few years. Rock on. Thank you, Ryan. That is great to know.
Appreciate that.
And I've screwed up in the past and tried to put the stream on and be illegal and all that, and YouTube shuts me down every time. So thank you for letting us do what we do as a supplement to your actually watching it without us, getting cited for it. Cheers. Can you add another like button? I broke mine. Well, thank you, Tim. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Just don't break it for next time.
Right? Yeah. Hey, again, this is the plan. If you missed the draft guide and you want to know about these players, especially the ones that the Chiefs are going to pick, go grab it from rogueapc.com. You can get that over there right now. Go to NFL33.com. You can get our boards for free right now on the top of the page. No worries. We will have a stream tomorrow for the duration. I might be yawning. I might be juggling at points. You never know. And then I think what we'll do is we'll have multiple streams around when the Chiefs are picking on Sunday so that we can both get a couple of other things done. We both have families and somebody has a little one. So until the superstar makes an appearance, we got to take care of her.
Saturday, I'm going to be all with her too because I'm taking my wife. My wife is going. I'm giving her a day for pampering. So Saturday, I'll get on when I can.
Nice. That's awesome. Been watching RGR since 18. Woo. Nihilist, you were the man. That was the coffee cup days, folks.
I wasn't
if you
even
don't know
here
what
yet.
I'm talking about. Yeah. Dan, have you ever seen the coffee cup intro?
I don't think so.
It's probably a good thing. It was my experiment in cinematography. It was great, but it was very early on the channel. But Niles, thank you, and thanks for the support.
Thank you.
A token, and I would love to offer you one back. So hit me up when you can at rgrpodcast@gmail, please. Thank you for that, and thank you for being here. 18, that's awesome. Hi, Dan. Howdy, Jayhawk.
Hi, Jayhawk. What's going on, man?
Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for the 5 spot. With run on offense, when would you trade up for Murphy?
Oh, about 3 picks ago.
Yeah. Again, I am so sorry I'm running so late here, you guys. I'll try to be more. There's just too many questions. I would not personally have traded up into the teens for him, although, because there is a drawback of his size. Let's be real. I do like the guy a lot, but I don't think I would have chased him into the teens. Would you?
I would have. Again, I have Byron Murphy inside my top 20. I think he is a legitimate game breaker, and the size doesn't worry me at all, personally.
Okay. I had him just outside my 20, but yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I think he's better than the Pitt defensive tackle that was wrecking stuff in Tampa Bay this last year. I think he's better than he is by a large margin.
Okay. And so the pick is Mims to the Bengals. Luckily, the NFL is either a little bit nervous about size, they don't like biker shorts, or they're just stupid because they didn't listen to us and Patano's still on the board. I don't really care which one of those scenarios it is. I like the kid. Dan, should I dare to dream that he could fall all the way?
I wouldn't do that. There's a long way to go from now until the Chiefs pick still. Long way to go.
Well, if you did, shouldn't we be scared of that?
Yes. If Troy Fautanu falls to the Chiefs at 32, there are reasons why. It's because most likely it's because every team views him as a guard. That's the only reason he falls that far, in my opinion. I don't. I have him as a tackle, but if he falls that far, that's the only thing that makes any sense to me personally. Unless there are things in the medical side that we don't know about because we can't know. Like that's just we don't know that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We're not privy to the medicals at all. And honestly, most of the media aren't either. That's why you've seen Fautanu be in the teens or early 20s all draft season. Rams are on the clock. This is one place where I thought the Chiefs might be able to get a trade done. If that does happen, we will jump back in on full. But Metal was asking, what do the Chiefs do now that the board is falling right now and all the tackles are going? No defensive players off the board at the time, and still very, very few, only 3. The last viable first-round tackle on my board is Fautanu, so it's iffy now.
Yep.
If that doesn't happen, where do you automatically go to wide receiver, Dan? Would that be your next preference?
It depends on the Chiefs board. Again, like I have Kingsley Suamataia at the top of the second round. I have Xavier Worthy at the top of the second round.
Yep.
That is based on your own grade. The Chiefs might have a lower grade on Kingsley than I do. They also might have a higher grade on a guy like Tyler Guyton, who I think is a more of a work in progress than Kingsley is. And he played at Oklahoma. But we have to remember that Tyler played tight end, then made a position change. He was like a move H-back before he was a tight end, before he was a tackle. And he only has, two years of playing, I think, and he played right tackle first, then left tackle. Like, he's moved around a ton in his career. He's a very natural athlete, but he would need some work. I think he's a pretty decent pass protector, instinctual, more so than technical.
True. Yeah, absolutely. He can go a long way. I mean, just the upside alone. He has the lower floor. I agree with you, but I do think he has the higher ceiling. I wonder if Andy and Andy aren't going to bet on that.
Yeah, that's fair. And if Andy Heck, I got no problems with you betting on a guy like that. I really don't. Yeah. I would have done it with Anton Harrison last year. Like I had Anton Harrison.
We both did.
Times. We both,
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Joe. Thank you for the 10 spot.
Thank you, Joe.
We very much are happy that everybody's here. We're approaching 1,500. Tell your friends if they're not online with you already. We have a record out there. We have a ways to go, but we're about 2/3 there. So pick it up, and we're all going to have a good time. And again, this is night 1 of a 3-day stint, folks. We're going to have you covered.
Man.
Steaming. If we take Kingsley Matt.
I'm assuming Matai. No.
Oh, gotcha. Who starts, Wanye or Kingsley? And that's the big question. It will be a competition. I am absolutely certain. The good thing is Kingsley has experience on both sides. Wanye has experience on both sides. So the loser becomes a high upside backup that can play either side. And that is a good situation to be in.
I think it would be Kingsley.
I would bet that myself.
I already think he's a better tackle coming out than Wanya Morris was, especially because Wanya played right and then had to switch to left. He played left last year. Like Kingsley played left last year. So he has kind of an upper hand there. And then again, you just play whoever just play your best 5.
Yep.
Just play your best 5.
Absolutely. That is the whole kit and caboodle right there. Isaac, thank you. What can I say? Well done, buddy. Good. Your timing is impeccable. And thank you for the support too, bud. Scott, multiple trade prospects to the Raiders. A spoiler, ain't rogues. Yeah, I know.
Jeez. You guys sometimes. Yeah.
Dirty, my internet's been in and out. Did Texas wide receiver go yet? Nope. Neither of them. And you just described the total existence of my life. So thank you.
It's just been the first 3 wide receivers. We have not seen anybody else go, which is, again, I have shown you. I've shown you. We got this.
Yep.
It's right there. It's right there on my board. Like it's right here, guys. It's right here.
Absolutely. Now I forgot to
look.
How many did you end up with in the first?
What do you mean?
Total prospects in the first.
21.
21. Okay. Same as me. So we saw eye to eye on that one.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm grabbing some more questions, folks, and we're going to keep on going. Okay.
For everybody in the chat, the Rams are on the clock and their pick is in. It's number 19.
Yep. I had hoped there, but I don't know. Maybe they don't have Fautano as high as I do either. Maybe they do have him as a guard. In which case, I'm not going to cry either. Because if they really don't expect to re-sign Trey, or if they think that Joe's going to have trouble, picks in. And there goes Verse.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, I thought my TV, I thought my computer screen had turned on. I was like, oh.
Totally forgot about the sound effects. Okay, so now we have that going. That's down there at the bottom. You can hit it. I can hit it. We can all hit it. It's all great.
There is my defensive end one. He is off the board.
There we go. So all 3 edges have gone. Stop me if you've heard this stuff before, folks. The quarterbacks are going. The left tackles are going. Some of the right tackles. And the edges are going. Shocking.
It's almost like
old. They call me
almost
old
like those
talk about the 4 cornerstones. They call me freaking old. No?
It's like draft in the trenches, draft quarterbacks, prosper, right?
Right.
Prosper.
Okay, Steelers on the clock. I don't know that they have to take this. A lot of people gave me crap because I did get a trade completed with them in one of the mocks. I do think it's an outside chance. I'm not sure it could happen, but it doesn't feel like they have a drastic need. Like they don't. I think they have to go with Kenny Pickett for a while since there's no option. If JJ were still here, maybe they'd think about it, but I don't know. What's your feeling on the Steelers and whether they stick?
They could just keep Broderick Jones at right tackle and draft Troy Fautanu here. That's what they could do. Because, again, they brought in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. But they've also declined Justin Fields' 5th-year option. So they need their quarterback upright this year, whoever it's going to be. Offensive line seems to be the thing here.
Yeah.
But you never know. I think Pittsburgh is also live to draft a wide receiver after trading away Deontay Johnson. I don't think George Pickens is a true number 1. I really don't. I think he is a legit number 2, but I do not believe he is a number 1.
I have to agree with you. I'm concerned how he chooses to fit into a room where he is not. That's my personal problem. I want to look at something real quick. Hopefully we can share it with everyone. If Elon will never mind. Can't say that on a stream.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it.
Okay. So let's see. Where'd it go? See if I can add in. Oh, I might have to reshare it so I can share the audio. Nah, we won't. This is the UW watch party as Penix went off the board. I want to see what his teammates thought. I'm guessing that helmet goes flying.
It did not go flying. That's sad.
Good for me. Come on, Steelers, give it up. Never mind. They're not gonna. Any chance that they can get Quinton Mitchell? Do you think that no corner will go until 32?
I don't think no corner will go. No, I think the Eagles are probably going to take a corner. There's a couple other teams that could too, but I don't think that it's going to start at 32. I have three corners graded in the first round. I do. Like I think that there should be three corners drafted in the first round this year.
Okay. I dropped those 2 guys just into the top of the third. I cannot remember. Let me put your board up. If my mouse will actually function. There we go. Oh, or you could do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
And then let me make it bigger. Here we'll go to this layout. So you had Terry in above Quinnen. I dropped him a little bit lower. So our top 3 corners are still the same. I just had 2 of them as the top 2 slots on day 3 or on day 2. So, okay. Let me get to this because I don't see him unless I look really closely. Okay, there it is. Do you think there could be a team that sees Cooper DeJean as a safety? Because that's where I put him on my board.
Sure. Oh, sure. Why not? I think he can. I think he's just going to do both in the NFL. But like, I still think he would have been a fantastic fit in Indy for what they do out there for their corners, playing a lot of cover 2 or the cover 3 system. I think he's a cover 3 corner, and that's best for him to stick. But I got no problems with. I think he's a safety.
Rock and roll. I just wonder if a safety is worth a first round selection, and that's my question.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it just depends. So we've had 3 edges go in the last 5 picks. 5 picks. Ooh, what a cluster.
If you guys are new into the chat, please do not spoil the picks.
Let me go put something in on the actual stream. I need to mute up in order to do that, but I will do that.
It's all right. I know we get new people coming in here all the time. You coming in, coming out. But if you're going to be coming in, I know we're going to have to say this a lot. It's not necessarily something we like to do all the time, but don't spoil it. We all want to talk about it when it happens on our TVs or whatnot. And I'd like to be disappointed at the same time as everybody else. It's all right. I know. I understand, Jefferson. That's why I'm not mad. Just want everyone to understand, we're trying to help everyone out here because not everyone sees it at the same time. And we're all trying to just watch and discuss. And Ryan's internet just, took a crap. But
just wait. It'll do it again.
That's right. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Fizz, you got that right.
All right, Steven. Titanic spoiler, the boat sinks. What? No. No, that's not true. I don't believe you. I don't believe it, Steven.
I hate to tell you, it's going down.
I don't believe you. I'm not going to do it. Scott, thank you for the 2. Hi, Dan button still works every single day of the week, man. Every time it always works. And I appreciate you very much. Thank you for the 2.
Okay.
I like this spoiler alert.
Yeah,
I like this spoiler alert.
I like it, Mark. Use it to your advantage for sure. Okay, cool. All right. I pinned something to the top of the chat. Hopefully that will help. We'll see.
All right. Jayhawk, appreciate the 5. Apollo 13 spoiler, they have a problem. Are you telling me right now that the phrase Houston, we have a problem is from Apollo 13? Is that what that's from?
Are you not aware of that?
Breaking news here.
No, get out.
Years old. I'm just joking.
Okay, you're killing me. I was scared for a minute.
Believe me is good though. Thank you very much for filling with D-Man for the 199. If you got a question down here, we got another one following up here, so I think we're good.
Oh, I like the next one.
Oh, hey, Steven, cool your jets. Some people still haven't seen Star Wars. Okay, some people still haven't, but I just want to run really quickly here, guys. This is why we did our mock draft. When I did the mock draft on Sunday in for Ryan, this is the situation we were talking about. Because the Chiefs were at 32 and all the tackles had gone. All of them had gone. Right now, again, all the first round grades that I have on tackle are gone. Every single one of them, all 6 of them have been drafted. The Steelers are about to draft.
Am I going to cry? Am I?
I think you're going to cry.
Son of a motherless.
What I had suggested, I do believe, is
what's
happening. Yeah, Troy Fautanu has been drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to keep Roger Jones at right tackle, or they're going to do what everyone's going to do with Troy Fautano. They're just going to start their best 5, and wherever that is on the offensive line is where he's going to play. So the Pittsburgh Steelers with pick 20 have drafted Troy Fautanu, Washington, to left tackle. They have him actually selected as guard here. Interesting. Is that on their board or on the Steelers board? Do you know if that's just ESPN playing
That's
that
ESPN. NFL has him as tackle. I'm
Yeah.
just going to sit here and cry with Troy for a minute.
Yeah. So now we got Miami on the board at number 21. Unfortunately, that again, all 6 first-round tackles that I had graded as first-round tackles have been drafted.
My top 6 are gone as well.
Yeah. Peacemaker is going to help you feel a little bit better. He was here since the Coffee Cup days too. He loves RGR, so thank you very much for the support. Ryan clearly has a lot of you guys brought in, and I love that there's such a deep nature and like a deep what's the word I'm looking for? Culture that you guys all bring in and continue with. So I love that. It makes me feel awesome to be here and be a part of this. So
I got to tell you, I love it too. I might have to go find it and re-upload it so we can watch it one more time.
That would be fantastic. I'd love to see that for the first time. All right, Quentin. If Quinyon gets past the Eagles, would he be worth making a slight move for? No. The Chiefs should not be trading up for a corner at this point, in my opinion. If you're trading up, it would have been for one of the tackles or a wide receiver. But right now, it's pick 21, and all the tackles are gone. Because I do not personally have him on my board at all. Jordan Morgan. Or I should have had Jordan Morgan.
I thought you did when I looked at it.
I don't know. It disappeared. That's interesting. It
does happen sometimes.
So Jordan Morgan I have as a guard. I also have him in the 2nd round. So
okay. We agree on that. I have him in the top 10. This is a little bit frustrating for me. It's just one of those things that I thought when he started to fall, the Chiefs were going to be in a position. There's 2 things that just happened here. Either the Chiefs were troubled by something with Fautano's past. He did have a foot injury as a freshman, but that's really the extent of his injuries. He is a little bit short for the position. But he's no more shorter for the position than Alt is tall. So I didn't have a problem with that. The only other thing that I can think of is the situation that a lot of you have brought up to us in the streams, and that just no one above 20 was willing to even come to an agreement with the Kansas City Chiefs. My guess is they tried.
Yeah, and we haven't even seen that much movement. There's been 2 trades. There's been 2.
If it weren't for the Vikings.
Yeah, literally. Vikings are the only team making trades. So it feels like the read on this class is pretty consistent across the league, where the tackles, the quarterbacks, the top defensive players are all going where they're supposed to go. And teams are pretty happy just staying and picking, which I understand. But we do have a pick in for the Miami Dolphins at 21. So we're going to wait and see what happens here. Appreciate that, Quentin. Yeah, I just don't think that they should be moving up for a cornerback in a market that's watered down in terms of they can probably get the cornerback that they want at 32 if they really wanted to. So that's my opinion. Tracy, thank you very much. Best show, a draft show ever. This is fun. Thank you very much. Tracy, you're always in here spreading the good word. One of our members again. Smash that like button. Yes, again, you guys are new coming in here while we get closer to the Chiefs pick. Just take 2 seconds, hit that like, get us out there for the rest of the Chiefs Kingdom to become a part of Rogue Nation, because that's what this is trying to grow, right? Always trying to grow Rogue Nation and get some of that gear. Get some of the gear.
The gear. What, have you been in Jersey lately? What was that?
I don't know.
Well, I will tell you this. I have not found the old intro yet, but I have found several episodes with Mike Burton.
Nice.
What else have I found there?
I'm not surprised you saved those. I am not surprised you saved the fullback episode.
Come on. You have to. For when Mike comes back and joins our RGR in his retirement.
There we go. I'm down. I'm down. I'll absolutely watch some fullback tape with Mike Burton.
Oh, I think you would enjoy it. I will make you guys this promise, though. I will go find it again, and I will get it. I don't know if I can get it up for tomorrow, but I will get it posted again to the channel for the old intro because it was a lot of fun. Could you? Yes, you could trade up for Thomas, although I do sincerely believe most teams are not willing to trade with the Chiefs, where I think they would have gotten something done for a tackle. But if they feel now that we got to go and he is the guy that's on our board, go. I mean, get it done.
Yeah, just figure it out. I mean, I think we might be nearing the point where teams are not letting the Chiefs trade up. But again, no one else really is, right? Like we don't see much, just the Vikings. So are teams really trying to trade up? Or did we kind of all know at this point that the tackles were going to be gone and there's nothing the Chiefs could have done to trade up for them, right? We heard that everyone wanted to move up to get a tackle. Well, it looks like right now that everyone was just like, we're just going to draft them and not let people move up and take them. Like that was just what it was. So it does get tough. And you probably at this point don't want to trade up for a Brian Thomas. I'll be very honest with you.
Yeah, I don't even think I would. Like I have him as a first round grade. Dan does not, but I wouldn't necessarily go up and get him. I have him right here in this cluster though.
All right, George Wolf.
26.
Sorry. Again, it's not really helping. Stop giving away the picks.
No, I already kicked him out once. He's banned. See ya.
Oh, okay. Bye-bye.
Sorry, guys. I hate that. But I do like the other spoilers here. Yes, the Raiders blew this draft already. I like that. Crosswinds.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, right. Crosswinds, thank you. I'm going to rekindle it. I appreciate you guys enjoying it as much as I do because that's it's fun. Let's see. Stuart, congrats, 1,500 viewers tonight. Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
You, Stuart. Thank you.
Thank
That's
you
a
for
lot,
being
guys.
here.
That's a lot. Thank you all.
It's a great group, and we appreciate you guys being, other than a couple of troublemakers, being cool about it. Pick is in. Miami Dolphins. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to go back to the wrong tab.
Do it.
The Miami Dolphins select 2021, Chop Robinson. Overrated, just saying.
Boy, that is a reach. You are getting a whole lot of first step and a whole lot of nothing else.
You are not getting a Jalen replacement. I'm telling you that right now, Dolphins fans.
What? Why are they doing that though? Like Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips are good players. Like this is the Jets drafting Will McDonald last year. That's what this is. This is the same player in essence, where he is a first step pass rush merchant. If your tackle gets out of your stance and you get hands on him, it's over. It's over.
Oh, yeah. It's my guess is that either they're not confident in Phillips' return or they see Chubb getting older. I don't know what.
Miami just watched the Michigan game. They turned on the Michigan game and said, "Oh, we're drafting this guy. We're not watching anybody else." No, it was Mike McDonald, right? Speed. We're going to play him at tight end, right? Like he's just going to play tight end. That's what's going to happen.
No worries. Thank you, Stuart. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you, Alex. I really want the Iowa DB, or I could say DB, CB, Cooper to fall to us if we stay put. But I'll take Worthy as well. Greatest content, guys. Veach has a plan. I trust him. Thank you, Alex. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Between those two, do you take Cooper? Easy choice for you?
It's easy for me. I just take Worthy.
Okay. You take Worthy over Cooper. Okay.
I take Worthy. Yeah, I like Cooper DeJean, but again, the Chiefs play a lot more man coverage. I don't think that's his game, and I also would not be taking a safety in the first round if the Chiefs want to turn him into a safety and having a bigger rotation at safety. So no, I wouldn't do that. I would take Xavier Worthy, and the fact that he didn't become a part of the speed trio demon in Miami makes me very happy. It makes me happy,
right?
Because I don't want to see that.
We'll take that. We're happy. That's hilarious. Oh man. Okay, just checking to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Oh,
Thank you all for your kind words today, by the way. Go.
Wait, which movie is this from? Because some people might not know the reference.
You're killing me, Smalls.
I'm just trying to piss off Ryan. That's all I'm trying to do.
I'm just over here getting older. Don't mind me. Good God.
Right,
what are you doing, Howie?
Mike.
Give me the pick.
Appreciate it. Summit Patel, thank you for the 5. Spoiler alert, Gatorade good, water bad. You're right. H2O.
Mama said, oh, she's a devil. She is a devil.
Appreciate the super chat, man. Ryan, thank you for the 5. Thanks for doing this, guys. At this point, I'm going up to get Brian Thomas. At this point, I'm letting him fall to me. If that's the thing, like I understand wanting to go get your guy, but the way the board is falling, why go? Like, just maybe one of their players is just going to fall to them.
Could be.
It did. They're not going to get someone to come trade up for a quarterback anymore. So it does feel like they're going to be staying at 32 and picking, especially considering the positions that have gone: pass rusher, tackle, quarterback. That's what this is. There's not going to be premium positions to come up and trade for. So it definitely feels like the run on wide receivers is probably coming. And it's starting at 23 with Jacksonville, in my opinion. That's
You're
what
probably right there. Where are we on your board? I have 1, 2, 3. I have 5 first-round grades left.
Me too.
Okay. Pick is in for Howie. Let's see what he does.
Appreciate that, Ryan. About that 5, by the way. Another spoiler alert, Steven. Willie gets set free. Swim free, Big Willie. Swim free.
Oh. The Emperor's not dead. I'm just saying.
Chiefs Knicks fan. Thank you for the 199. Y'all give the most honest takes. Love it. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's what we try to do. We try to keep it real with you guys, because why else would we do this? Like, I'm not gonna just lie about stuff. Like, why would I do that? Like, it gives me nothing. I want to be in this industry just as much as Ryan does. Like, we want to be here doing this for our livings. We do it here. We do it for a living here. But I want to grow it. I'm still going to be here, but I got other stuff that I want to do too, right? Like, I got other stuff we want to do.
Yes. I mean, if you guys haven't caught on, we are diversifying some. Dan's got fantasy stuff going. He's got other draft content coming as well. I'm moving more to the NFL direction, so NFL 33 is going to continue to grow. We're still going to be RGR. It comes down to the two of us and Gary, and we're going to add more contributors as we go along. You guys know through the years, especially you coffee cup guys and ladies, we rotate talent through here. We give a lot of people their starts so they can understand how to do this, and then they go on to bigger things, and that's perfectly fine. But you're going to find us here for the long term, unless Dan outgrows me. So
no, it's not going to happen. Just wanted to pull this back up, Alex. We did answer this. I would rather take Worthy over Cooper because he's not necessarily a scheme fit to what the Chiefs want to do, in my opinion. So hopefully, again, I apologize that it may have froze for you, but we did talk about it. Ryan, do you have any difference of opinion on that?
I would just elongate it this way. The fear is that all their first round grades go off the board like mine, and he's the only guy there, and maybe they do have a first round grade on him, low or a high second, whatever. If he's the best guy available, how do you make it work? Well, that tells me that he's instantly your third safety. Chamari Connor is now your nickel, and McDuffie's going outside. It's the only way I could see it function.
No, I'm with you. All right, we got the commissioner out here, and thank you, Alex, for the super chat, by the way.
I just love being able to do that.
I know.
I finally got a clean version of that sound.
I know you did. It's good. It's good.
Oh, come on, Roger. For the love of God.
Just get the pick out. Just come on,
First,
man.
Howie's screwing around. Now you're taking forever. I don't need this aggravation. And the dead air continues. Hey, thanks, Raj.
Jeez. Roger, come on. Your back hurts. You should not want to be standing around.
Brandon, good question. I'm going to get that to you. I'm putting it on the list here. We're going to get there. Who's Jefferson? We got to boot somebody else?
I don't know. I didn't see anything.
Okay, I did. Agree, people. Please do not put spoilers in. If I haven't said it, if you don't see it on the screen, that it ain't happened yet on this show. So, hey, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, evidently he's not going to tell what Webb is. So Quinton Mitchell does go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Howie screws us again. And my best corner.
Felt like corner was going to happen, right? For the Eagles.
Yeah.
It felt like it had to happen.
Yeah, you called it like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I did.
I had Quinton as my number one. He was what, 2 for you?
Yeah, he was my number 2, right behind Terry Arnold. And honestly, it could have gone either way.
Yeah, it was
going either way.
All 3 of them were close for me, including Nate Wiggins. I just, in the end, it was Terrence. I just can't bite on that enough. But man, he plays smart. I love the way he plays.
All right, so just for those of you who are here, 23 is now on the clock. The Jacksonville Jaguars, after the Eagles selected Quinton Mitchell with the 22nd pick in the draft.
There we go. We both feel this is probably a wide receiver. If it's not Brian Thomas, I will be a little surprised. But if it's not, who do you think it is?
All right. Let's see. They have a big, quote unquote, big fast receiver in Gabe Davis. They have a smaller guy with speed. It would have to be Adonai Mitchell. Makes kind of sense. Makes a little bit of sense. He's a route runner. He doesn't play as fast as his testing. So, I mean, he's not slow by any stretch, but he can win underneath. He can get open quickly. That's not something outside of Christian Kirk that they have. So maybe they want to go for a bigger body. But again, he's falling down boards for a reason. He just is. He might not even be drafted in the first round, in my opinion.
That's the way that I'm leaning to. I have heard confirmation from people who know. I have not confirmed this, but I've heard confirmed at least 8 teams have Adonai Mitchell off of their boards completely. For various reasons, as I understand. I can't get anybody to tell me what the medical is. But it seems that's the most likely because people keep popping it up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm baffled because I didn't see anything that made me think it.
The pick is in. The pick is in.
Oh,
all right. Minotaur. Spoiler alert, Gary Bertier gets paralyzed before the state championship. You know, I was having a good night. You went and reminded me of one of the absolute worst moments in sports film history.
Right side, strong side. Sorry.
You're overcooking my grits, Minotaur. Appreciate the $4.99, man.
That's a hell of a movie, though, man. I gotta tell you,
so good. It's just so good.
Since we have like a week until we get OTAs, right? Go watch it tonight, folks. It's called Remember the Titans if you're 12.
They probably, yeah. Well, where do I find that? What streaming service is it on?
Right. You sound like my kids. Dad, what are you talking about? It's not on Max.
I can't find it on Peacock. Where is this? PK, what wide receiver would you take that's left at 32? Again, for me, it's still Worthy, Coleman. Those are the 2 guys that I have right now that are available and that I have graded that high. I would take a swing on Leggett too. I would talk myself into it, but you know, there's any of these guys you could probably talk yourself into.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're not losing. I mean, because it's a 2nd round pick. I have it right now: Thomas, McConkey, Mitchell, and then Polk, Franklin, Pearsall. I do have Worthy right after that, before Keon Coleman and Jalen McMillan. So, like, I still don't think at 32, most of those guys are worth it. I still have Brian Thompson in the first. Ladd I could get talked into, but they're serious. You know, there's a way you have to use him. He's not universal. Mitchell, we've talked about. Polk doesn't have the top end to take the defense, but you guys know that I love him, and I think he's grown on you, hasn't he, Dan?
Which one? I'm sorry, Polk?
Polk.
Oh yeah, I like Polk. I still have him in the 3rd. Like top of the 3rd is where I have him. I'm just a little lower than everybody else.
Cool. That's perfectly acceptable.
All right.
And
Thank you, PK. Appreciate you as always, you guys. Nighthawk, thank you for joining the memberships. Appreciate that so much. As I know you have a comment down here that we'll get to here in a matter of minutes. Appreciate the support, man. Thank you very much. We do have the pick in for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So once we get Roger Goodell walking out there, we will convert to talking more about that. William Bradley, thank you for the 199. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what this is.
Brondo, huh? Okay. You lost me on this one too. Well, I'm sorry.
So if I'm thinking about this realistically, plants crave three things, right? Sunlight, air, and water. That's how they make their food.
I like it.
I'm trying to figure out where else we're going with this. I appreciate the super chat. And maybe it's a quote from a movie. I don't know. Can't think of it off the top of my head, but I appreciate the support.
And there goes Brian Thomas Jr. as we had predicted. So
made too much sense.
Yeah. Dan nailed it. I don't know, 4 picks ago. Not surprised there. I did have a first round grade on him. Little early for Dan, but we are dwindling badly here, folks. We're going to be in the situation that we talked about quite a bit during the mock draft season, in that we're not going to have a prospect that we're 100% sure is worth a 32nd pick. It's going to get thin here very, very quickly. I still have, as first-round possibilities, Graham Barton. I would move him inside, but I will say he has experience at left tackle. If you want to let him battle Wanye for a year, I don't care. If you're worried about right guard, he's a guy who can fill in there next year. If you're worried about left guard retiring, he can fill in a left guard next year. So it's a little bit more about a year away from now, but I can see that. I have Johnny Newton on the board. How do you feel about him?
I have Johnny Newton right outside the first round.
Okay.
So, or not right outside, but in top half of the second round. And again, I'm okay reaching on some of these defensive linemen because I think that he's a really good player and would improve this defensive line a lot. So it does come down to how far do you think you're going to have to get one of these guys? Like how much do you care about reaching on a defensive player that you can develop and putting someone next to Chris Jones that has that type of pass rush acumen and get off makes a lot of sense. The problem for me is more of he's a Chris Jones spot player. He plays in, he's more of a 3 tech, not a 1 tech, in my opinion. So that's where it comes down to. We did get the movie. It's called Idiocracy, which I've never seen. So that would make sense. I've never seen it.
I haven't either, actually. That's it's pretty rare for me to be able to say. So well done, William.
Yeah, hey, Bradley, just don't be so hasty here. Don't be hasty. Don't be taking likes back for not watching some movies. There's just some things we're not going to see. Okay, so it's okay.
I will trade you one Idiocracy for the roughly 300 hours of game film we've each watched in the last 4 months. How's that?
How about that? Yeah, because I literally the first movie that I actually watched from start to finish in one day from before the season ended was Draft Day today. It's the first one.
That's awesome. I tell you what, my kids and I have we have a date set up. I'm a girl dad. So Sunday, we are supposedly watching what's it called? Three Body Problem from start to finish, I am told.
That's not is it a movie or is it a TV show?
It's a series, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
There's multiple episodes, so you're gonna watch that all day. Okay.
Yeah, they're so excited to see it. I think it's 8
episodes. It looks great.
Yeah.
It looks great.
I haven't had any time. So they're like, Dad, Sunday we're doing stuff. Okay.
Fair. That's absolutely fair. All right, let's get a few more of these super chats in here as we get going. Thomas Reagan, thank you for the 10. Love the show. I see Paul as the next best left tackle, but in the second. Oh, what's the reaction if he's picked 32? I'll be very upset. Like I'll be fine. Obviously, I'm not going to go to the George Karlaftis place that I did a few years ago. We're going to prevent that from ever happening again. Like that's not going to happen. You learn from your mistakes in that situation. And it's not, I would not pick Patrick Paul there. I wouldn't do it. Again, he's not even my next left tackle on the board. I have two guys above him, and I have Paul in the third. So personally, I wouldn't do it. I don't think he can start right away, but also I think he can be a developmental guy. Like I have no issues drafting him and not playing him right away. But you have to be okay not starting him. A lot of fans would be mad if they take him at 32 and not start him, much like they were with Felix last year. There's not enough development. He didn't do much. He wasn't a first-round player, guys. You had to take time and develop. So just keep that in mind.
I will say this, though. It will be a mistake because I do have Tyler Guyton, Sua Matea, and Roger Rosengarten all over him. And so that would be a misevaluation either on my part or theirs, and I'm leaning towards theirs if they chose to do that. I will say this, too. I think they would sooner choose, should they be in that position, to take a second-round wide receiver than Patrick Paul. Like, say Guyton, Sumate, and Rosengarten go this before they get a chance. I think they would rather drift towards the wide receiver, at least accomplish a high-quality pick at the other position they really need to cover.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. Thank you for the question there, Thomas. Appreciate it. And again, I don't hate any players in this draft. I want to really point that out. I want the best for all these players. I want them to all be good. The realistic part of that is that it's not possible. Not all of them are going to be. So we have to trust our evaluations, trust our eyes. My guy, we have actually talked about it multiple times. The problem now is that who's trading up for these non-premium positions?
Yeah.
Nope. There's no more quarterbacks to trade up for. The tackles are gone. The wide receivers, again, I had them all graded in the second round. Deep pass are gone. So it's not a realistic situation for them to trade down. Maybe they do. Who knows? But it was much more likely when we thought there'd be 2 quarterbacks available at the end of the first round.
I think 6 quarterbacks going threw everybody off. Even I didn't have all 6 going in the first. I had
apparently Jay Glazer reported it before the draft, which I mean, good for him. That's great. Why are we showing Detroit on the clock?
Did we miss something? Did they just trade up?
No, I mean, I'm looking at Dallas still being on the clock. Oh, there is a trade alert. Did the Lions trade up with the Cowboys? They did.
Came up at the last second.
Wow.
Woo, mama.
All right, Detroit traded up with Dallas. Are they going to get a wide receiver?
You got to be excited. I don't know who they're going to get, but you got to be pumped.
Or are they going to get a cornerback because they desperately need a corner? Is this Terry and Arnold music? Is that what this is?
Maybe. So the Cowboys, 23. Aaron Wilson, you do a terrible job at writing that stuff up. Looks like
his tweets are hard to read.
Yes. Looks like for a 2nd and a 7th? No, that can't be right. Hold on momentarily. Trying to get to the compensation.
No problem. We're good here. Detroit wanted to make a splash.
Well, somebody tell me it. And now my TV just cut out.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so I am going to put you on mute for a second, and we're going to hope that we find out what happened.
All right, well, theorizing if it's wide receiver, I don't know. I think that you need a guy who can get open. Trying to figure out here. Well, all right. So we'll just kind of get back to that when the pick comes in. Steven, thank you for the 2. Spoiler alert, the Titans become remembered. Absolutely. Again, great movie, fantastic, and I love the references here. Brandon, so we'll get to this real quickly, like you said. With only 21 first-round grades, at some point teams are going to have to start reaching. What is the limit? Again, it's how is your board stacked? I would not be reaching on 3rd-round players at 32, guys that I have graded in the 3rd round. You can probably talk yourselves into most players from 32 to 40. I think you can realistically say in the or 42 within 10 picks that you have graded there. Those guys are probably what you're looking at to reach for, in my opinion. Do you have a different opinion on that? Oh, you're muted.
I got smart for a minute, muted myself. No, I think you're right. The question is like exactly how do you have things ranked, and even then, is there volume, or do you have to? Are you again getting in a situation where you either had McCole Hardman or you had Breland Speaks? The two things that Brett Veach has done incorrectly that we can really point to is when he got zeroed into a prospect or two. And that's the problem. So Dallas moved back and gets a third. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you letting us know that. I still haven't seen it updated here what the comp was. So Dallas, who is quote unquote Jerry Jones all in this season, hasn't done jack in free agency, and now they've moved back for a third round pick.
They haven't even extended CeeDee Lamb yet.
They
haven't done anything with Dak. They're bringing back Zeke. Dallas is bad. Jerry Jones needs to sell the team.
And I got to tell you, I don't know that Steven's any better. I'm with you.
I don't know, man. But I hope that answers your question before we got off the rant there on the Cowboys, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon.
Are we getting actual pick in here?
No, Rogers. I don't know. Introducing.
All right. Ashley, thank you for your question. Hey, guys, great show. I'm watching both you and ESPN. So much junk talk on ESPN. I think trade back and take Pooney and tight end as well. I would love to get Pooney in the third round. That was a spot for me. I'm just like loving picking him. I love it. I think it's a great spot, and I do think he can play tackle. I think he might be able to survive there.
Maybe
a little bit here and there. So, man, it'd be a lot of fun. But I'm not on tight end personally.
Okay. I want to go back to Brandon one more thought. Brandon, just the reason there's only 21 is because part of this is projecting what the value is and what you can get out of him. What we say when we don't have a first round grade on a guy means we don't project him walking in and becoming a starter. That's significant for me. If you're going to be a first round grade on my board, you have to walk in and be able to at least compete. Maybe you're, getting drafted to replace a veteran. You might have to beat him out or something, but you have to be able to compete to be a starter year one to be a first round grade on my board. And that's kind of the delineation point for me.
Yeah.
And hey, we popped up over 2,000 in the chat for a minute.
Woo!
Thank you, guys.
Nice to see you.
So keep it coming. Keep on adding. We are within striking distance. We need about 300 more and we'll hit our all-time high. There we go. There goes Terry and Arnold. Dan has the corners knocked right now.
Right now, in this middle part of the draft, I feel like I'm feeling myself. I've been calling a couple of these teams drafted needs, and Arnold made too much. It desperately needed a corner, and Terry and Arnold, again, was my number one corner in this draft class. The improvement from last year to this year was stark difference. Good change of direction skills, physical, can do zone, play man. You can get him moving off the ball. He can come down, play press. He can do all of it. So this is good pick for the Lions. They desperately needed it.
Brandon, I hope that answers more succinctly. Hit us one more time if we didn't, please. I know how much you're in here, and I want to make sure that we cover the topic for you. And thank you, Ashley. Sorry, I went back to that. Chris, Commissioner, and Dan for NFLPA President. Yeah. Hey, we'll take both, please.
Bringing them on in.
Thanks, Chris. Metal. Do you think that right now that the Chiefs can stay put and take Kingsley Guyton, Blake Fisher in the first round? Yes. And I would be very interested if they are in that situation. Those are three guys that I think could be in play. I have Fisher well below the other guys. But who's the other on my board? I just got to double check because names are running together. It's Rosengarten as well. I do think he's the type of player the Chiefs like a way more nimble Andrew Wiley. Like he fits that kind of mold. So I do think he could be in range there as well.
Yeah. So I have Kingsley, Tyler Guyton, and Blake Fisher all as second round grades. All of them.
Yep, me too.
And those are my second round grades. I have from there, it's another pocket for me. Like that's how Brett Veach was talking about it. From there, that's the pocket for
Brett
me.
Veach does call it pockets.
Yeah. So that's how I see that. And right now the Packers are up at pick 25. The pick is in. what is this right now? Like, what are they going to do? Is this Kingsley? Is this Kingsley? Are they going to take Kingsley Suamataia and fill that gap at left tackle? Maybe. They could probably also go corner. Maybe this is Nate Wiggins. It wouldn't shock me if they went defense, or maybe Kool-Aid McKinstry is the pick here. But
I have Nate next. I actually had him slightly above Tyrion.
Could also
Tyrion
be Graham Barton.
Yeah.
Could also be Graham Barton.
I'm gonna check their roster real quick. So Ryan Shea, right guard. Zach Tom, I don't think is going anywhere at right tackle. Their centers Josh Myers and Elgin Jenkins inside at left guard. I think Barton can probably get in there. Left tackle last year, or they're projecting right now, is Rasheed Walker. I don't know. I think they just signed Andre Dillard, so I think they would see Barton as a guard as well if they did select him.
But that's the thing here, right? What we've seen the Packers take chances on young players with athletic upside, like they did last year. And it's starting your best 5. If Barton comes in and he's just better than Dillard, because what's Dillard done as a tackle in the NFL? He's moved around a bunch. He hasn't been healthy and good enough to hold onto that spot. If you take Barton and he wins out, he wins the job, like that's it. Like that's what that is.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Shape that way.
Oof.
Oh man. Okay. I think what I need to do is change something real quick. Chiefs are taunting us, by the way, putting out on social media a shot of their draft room with the guys in there chuckling around. Starting to piss me off.
Yeah, right. Like we're almost at pick 32 here.
Get in the pit and try to love someone. Let's go.
Yeah, right. I think a trade up spot would be next pick 2 with Tampa Bay. They might be able to trade up with them because they need a lot more than they've got to do with it. Corner could be on the board for them. I don't know, man. There's a lot to do here. I'm starting to lean with offensive line for the Packers. I know that they like defense. It wouldn't shock me if they want corner here, but it just feels like this is going to be where Graham Barton ends up.
It definitely makes sense. I am not going to lie. Let's take a look real quick. See if I can get this shared out correctly. Where to go? No, it's not working correctly, and that's frustrating me.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and put you up here, Nighthawk. I appreciate the support again. You becoming a member, putting your rookie membership. I just joined the rookie membership because I love this group. You two are more knowledgeable than most. Thank you. Appreciate that. We try to do what we can to learn as much and then give you guys that information. Like that's what we care about doing. And so thank you. My question though, is it me or is it the rest of the NFL really trying to catch up to Patrick? Oh, absolutely. They desperately want to, and that's why we saw 6 quarterbacks go in the top 12. And 2 of them, 2 teams in the AFC West. They weren't. Sorry, that was only one of them. My apologies. That was just I thought they should have been able to get Penix, but they weren't able to get Penix. My brain had put Penix to the Raiders and just done it.
Done deal.
But it did. So that's on me. But yeah, they're trying to get to him. Back-to-back Super Bowls, going for a third. They're coming. They want to very, very badly.
Yeah, nobody wants to see them keep winning. So here's a look, and I'll start using this more as well, I think, so that we can see the other teams' depth charts as we get around. So this is what they're looking at on the interior with Jenkins, Myers, and Ryan. Not terribly old. Jenkins is the oldest player, taken in 19. So I don't know that it's drastically.
No, you're not wrong.
Definitely.
I like Jenkins though. I think he's been good.
I do too.
Rasheed Walker, Andre Dillard. That's not moving the needle for me, honestly.
Fair.
It's not moving the needle. And also, he could probably start at right guard.
Okay. Well, let's see what they do here.
Yeah, picks in, so we'll find out.
And the pick is now the broadcast has come through. We'll see if the web catches up. It's Jordan Morgan.
Oh, okay. So they did take.
Yep. Same concept, different player. You could almost write up Jordan Morgan and Graham Barton with the same description. Just a couple of subtle differences. Morgan's a little bit more athletic. Barton's a little bit more powerful. But the same concept. They can play inside. They can play outside. I would venture to say that Morgan can play snap. What do you think?
I'm sorry, you were a little muffled there. I didn't hear the question.
I would venture to say that Morgan can probably learn to snap and play all five. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's a swing inside guy. I don't think he's a tackle. Well, we're going to find out. I know that they have him listed as a tackle. I don't buy it personally. I don't. But we'll see. We'll see, right? Yes, Jonathan, I fixed it. Morgan is on my board. It was a mistake. It happens sometimes, especially when you got guys that play one spot and you want them somewhere else. So it just on accident. So he is there. He's on my board. He's blue now, but it's tough. I think that he's going to be a really good player for sure. But I have him as guard. I think he's going to probably. But start your best five. We talked about it. Start your best five. Draft these guys and start your best, and that's what the Green Bay is going to do.
I had him exactly the same as you, top of the second as a guard. So, hey, they got what they needed. Yep. Dirty, any idea how long Rice is going to be out? I read something today from somebody that I trust that said somewhere around 4 to 8, half the season, basically. I don't know if that's true. It's just a rumor, but we have to be prepared for that. Honestly, we have to be prepared for a season, given the recklessness of what happened. So I do think that there's going to be multiple picks at that position in this draft. I just don't know when they're going to be.
Yeah. And right now we have to, again, the Chiefs aren't going to make a reactionary pick. I think that in this case, they understand that, yes, he's probably going to get suspended for maybe, like I said, 4 to 8 games at some point, whatever it ends up being. But he'll be back this year, hopefully with the better attitude and want to fix whatever he's done. So far, so good on that part. He's saying the right things he needs to say after something like that, which, again, I'm not going to get too far into the woods on that. You guys will find that out in my member stream, my member video. I talk about it at
nice,
at length. So lots of swear words in there for you guys. And so I don't think they're going to make a reactionary pick based off of what happened with Rashee Rice, like they did with what could have happened to Tyreek Hill. I think they learned their lesson there on that part because, let's be honest, McCole Hardman was a day 3 pick. They took him in the second round. Just fact, just was. So it's interesting. So again, we'll find out. I don't know anything about suspension wise. I really don't. Ryan knows more than I do. So we'll see.
And I don't know Jack because they seem to make it up as they go along.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely true.
You hear what you hear, and that's about all we can do. Steven, Toon Squad did beat the Monstars. So
that's right. Down with the Monstars.
I think it's hilarious. If for those of you that are in the chat that are not parents, it's coming on. It's coming on. You're going to get caught up eventually. Now we're all going to get into these silly comments.
I have not seen the second one, by the way. Have you?
Which?
I refuse to watch number 2.
No, I will not either.
I won't do it.
There are certain parts of that original that are probably burned into my brain. I'm not giving them another chance. Gru isn't really that evil. That's a good point, Jayhawk.
I want to see this new one very badly.
It's so fluffy. That's all we hear around here.
Still
to this day.
Damn.
Just randomly. That's
nuts. Staying power, man. That's some staying power. The first one is fantastic. I do love the first one. It's really good.
What was it called? I can't remember though.
It's just called Despicable Me.
Okay. I always want to call it Minions. I'm just
Oh, that one's not that bad, but it's okay.
Gotcha. Guys, hope you're doing well, buddy. At the moment, what pick brings the Chiefs to the offense that step like the defense made last year? That's a great question, dude. They're all gone. All gone. The guys that walk in and make Hollywood and Rashee better. There are guys that can fit in with them now. But Roma Dunze made them better. Malik Neighbors made them better. I don't see anybody like that left. Do you?
I do think Xavier Worthy would make them better. When you have someone that can actually stretch the field, legitimately stretch the field, not just someone who's going to run down the field and then drop the football. Because although he has concentration drops, he's an excellent ball tracker, and he actually catches the ball downfield well. Like, it's more of the easy catch stuff where he's like, oh, all right, we're going to drop this one. Like, some of those, they creep in. So the downfield stuff, I think he can actually make them better with opening space up underneath. If the Chiefs, again, we're going to talk about if they want to use 50-50 guys, I think you could make the argument Rashee Rice should be used in that mold a little bit more, but he's not, and he probably won't be. So that probably nixes a guy like Keon Coleman, because they took Rashee Rice, who is very good at that, and said, you're not going to do it ever again. Never again. So I don't know, but I do think speed, physicality. So that's why I keep bringing up in Xavier Legette. I think Xavier Legette's physical. He has downfield speed, really good hands, strong hands through contact. That's a player that would make them better, just based off what he does now, with room to grow. But offensive line wise, maybe it is Graham Barton. And they just stick it out at left tackle until, again, I don't have a grade on him at tackle. I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
I thought that he was pretty poor with footwork at tackle. I'll be honest. I know some people think he's great. He's a great athlete. I thought his footwork was sloppy, and he was heavy-footed, getting back in his pass protections. Thought he was. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should rewatch his tape. Hey, we're talking about Graham Barton right now.
Yep, good timing. And it is, by the way, Graham Barton. So
hey, look at that. Shocker.
We got her done, and we timed it well. Jack, thank you very much. And Matthias,
that's actually funny, because they drafted a guy not too long ago out of Central Michigan, I believe, Luke Gadecki, who ended up playing right tackle for them. And they're pretty similar players. They're physical guys that projected to the interior, but played tackle in college. And just start your best five. We talk about it. We keep saying it. And here we are back at it. So I like that pick for Tampa Bay, and I can't stand that I had to say that out loud.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Matthias, thank you again. We appreciate you. Didn't mean to cut off the conversation there.
Thank you. Sorry.
Well done and well timed. Let's see. Wayne, thank you guys for your work. Absolutely, buddy. Thank you for your support, as always.
Very much, Wayne. Thank you so much.
It's amazing to us how many people enjoy what we do, and we appreciate that. And it makes us keep going, because it is grind. It is a lot of work. And you guys are not shy about picking up something new that we're putting down. So thank you again.
Very much.
Let's see. Nighthawk just got into the rookie membership. Oh, did you already read this one? Solely because everyone's
he just went a different route with it. So we did read this one, Nighthawk. Sorry, we're not trying to leave questions behind. We really are just trying to get with what we got here while we're talking about the draft. So sorry about that.
Absolutely. Dan Thompson. Hi, buddy. Brother Candy Creek, are you still in the band? Yes, the band still exists. We generally take the winters off these days. Gigs in the summer, usually some of the bigger festivals and that kind of stuff. So we are currently booking. So I think we're going to be at the Arizona State Fair again. We'll see. We'll travel around a little bit of the region, but I got to tell you, travel this year is going to be a little bit reduced because there's just too much going on.
Man, the pick came in quick on this one.
Oh, dang. Card said, we got our guy. We're going to go get him. And he would like to know how to get a hold of you, Dan. You can forward something to me at RGR Podcast, and I can get it to Dan, or however.
Yeah, I don't know if you have Twitter or not, but I have email. It's f16mech.dh@gmail.com. That's on my Twitter as well. So that's how you can get a hold of me personally, but Twitter and email is best.
There we go. And bada bing, your Mizzou Tiger has been taken off the board, folks. Darius Robinson to the team that just got off the board. Why did they move them so fast? I was trying to read. That is a pain in my butt.
Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals at 27 picked Darius Robinson.
For your next enjoyment, you will now watch the Buffalo Bills take a wide receiver, because if they don't, Buffalo will burn tonight.
They will. They're going to be taking a wide receiver. Which wide receiver is it, though?
Yes.
Which Texas wide receiver is it? Because I almost am sure it's going to be a Texas wide receiver.
I think you're probably right. And I lean towards Mitchell right here because I don't think they'll go with a lighter body.
Everybody read the thing on the sheet right now on the page. No spoilers, please. None.
Please, please, please. Keep it to yourselves. Once it's on ours, go, 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 go. That's awesome. Celebrate, especially all you Tiger fans, because I know there's a ton of you here. So enjoy. Darius was the standout of the Senior Bowl. Let's give him credit.
Yep.
I just don't think he's an edge. I think he has to play inside. That's. I think we both agree on that, right?
We did. I still think it might be his best projection, but I went back to the tape after I did my grade on him. I do have him under the film grades under interior defensive line. On my big board, he's an edge.
Okay.
So this is one of the things that I did struggle with Darius Robinson. I did have him in the end of the second round. That's where I had him because he's such a tweener. I didn't know what to do with him. So I did grade him as an interior defensive lineman, but I do have him as an edge on my board, which is confusing. I understand that for sure. But specifically now, I think he's playing edge. I do believe he's going to be an edge in Arizona. And they're going to kick one of their guys inside.
They are. And you got to remember, JJ Watt left. They want a power edge. They want somebody that they feel has good mobility but can really go through offensive linemen. And so I think that makes a lot of sense given the organization's history. It doesn't necessarily mean that it fits the coaching staff, but I do think that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything. And people are going to spoil it right now because they're excited. But the Chiefs just traded up with the Buffalo Bills and are on the clock.
The last time this happened was Patrick Mahomes. Let's get this. Get out.
Oh, the Chiefs are up and they only traded up, 4 spots to go get somebody. Has to be a receiver, right? Or they're going to get Graham Barton. No, sorry, not Graham Barton. Sorry, they're going to get Kingsley. They're going to get a tackle. They're going to get one of these 2 positions, but they are on the clock and the pick is in.
Okay.
So here we go.
Dang. Okay, I'll take it. Well, they got something done. I will take that. I'm still not seeing it anywhere, but hey, I hope that they update him. So
I think Bills Mafia is going to be PO'd.
Oh, I'm PO'd. Chiefs trade 32, 95, and 221 to get 28, 133.
What?
And 248. They gave up the 3rd round pick.
The 3rd round pick to get whoever this is?
To go up 4 spots.
No way that's right. No way that's right.
That's what we're seeing.
I do not believe that.
That's from Field Yates. That is going to be a disappointment.
That's an overpay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's significant. That means
4 spots?
Yeah, that's nuts. To give up a 3rd round pick, a top 100, I'm a little queasy right now, I have to tell you. This means a couple of things. One, they recognize that their positions of need are depleted and they don't have many options left. 2, someone, most likely the Buffalo Bills themselves, were going to take a player at the position that they were worried was going to be their guy.
Yeah.
3, the Bills made them overpay.
Yeah, which we've
they're
heard.
in a tougher situation. Yes, the Bills are in a tough situation.
We've also heard Brett Veach say as much that's been a common theme.
But if this is true, and it's a wide receiver in particular, doesn't matter to me which one, the Chiefs have beaten Brandon Beane again. because there's no bigger need for the Buffalo Bills than a wide receiver. And if the Chiefs go take one right now, it's over. They won on the Mahomes trade. They'll win on this one, I guarantee. I don't care, only because it keeps the Bills from getting the guy they want. I don't understand why the Bills would do it. I got to tell you.
I don't know. But I'll tell you why. It's because they gave him pick 95 with it.
Yeah. That's total
why.
overpay. And the Chiefs evidently felt they had to get this done. The tackles are gone. Okay, so you gave up a top 100. There's only, I'm looking at the board right now. There's only 2 guys that this is worth. 3 guys. The 2 tackles, Tyler, Guyton, Kingsley Suamataia, or the burner, Worthy.
Yeah.
It's the only 3 guys worth it, because otherwise you stay at 4. And where I have Worthy, there's a couple of other receivers available. So you either want him because he has what you can't get anywhere else, or you want one of the tackles because there's not enough of them left that you feel can actually help you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested. Like I said, I know that they probably had to do this to get the player, but I'm a little confused as to why we take a 3rd round pick, go back into, now you have 2 4ths and 2 5ths. Okay, I guess I can understand it to that extent, right? But they're top 100 picks, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you moved back 38 spots.
Yeah,
95. It's a whole round plus, even with the comp picks. So whatever it is, they feel it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that right now.
And I'm going to say, whoever it is, like, I'm probably going to be excited regardless, especially if it's a wide receiver, because I've done extensive work on the wide receivers. It's a really good class, and there's a really good chance that one of the guys that they're going to take is someone I've already broken down. So
yeah.
Like, so we can plug that too.
I mean, that's out. Yes, as soon as this is over, if you guys don't want to watch the rest of the first round, I understand. We've been on 3.5 hours.
I think someone misrepresented the pick. I think it was a 4th, not a 3rd.
Okay. I was reading from Field Yates.
We'll find out, but I don't know. We'll find out.
Let us find it. Whoever it is. Okay, I now have it from Matt Derrick. Do you want me to go ahead and put it out there?
I'm sure. Well, they're about to put it up. Like,
okay. Here's Roger Goodell. I'll turn it up. Oh, God, he's going to do a whole thing.
Oh, of course he is.
Can you hear it?
Who was diagnosed with renal failure at age 15 and received a kidney transplant from his father just last year. Justin's love for football and the Chiefs got him. Please welcome Justin to the stage, whose wish is to announce the 1st round draft pick for his beloved Kansas City Chiefs.
So long, man. Come on. This is killer.
The floor is yours, Justin. Go get it, man.
Do it, bro. Let's bring it.
The Buffalo Bills have traded the 28th pick to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Thank you, Brandon.
With the 28th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the back-to-back Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, select Xavier Worthy.
Downtown and Hollywood Brown. That's what this is. Okay. All right. Well done, folks, in not spoiling it for us. I turned off your chat, so I didn't see anything you put in there.
Yeah, I wasn't looking. Was not looking.
I wanted to make sure that I reacted as it's worth here. Worth being the operative word. You've broke him down. You can go watch RGR's breakdown that Dan did several weeks ago. Give me the highlights for you.
Boy, we know he's got game-breaking speed. The angles he reduces, we've seen before. McCole Hardman did that a little bit before his injury. Tyreek Hill reduces angles. He reduces angles. He is not just a speed guy. He's not. He runs routes. He understands leverage. He can create space for himself. He also contributes after the catch. He will run through contact. He's not afraid of contact for a smaller guy. That is the reason the Chiefs have drafted him. If he was afraid of contact, he probably wouldn't be drafted at this point. But I also think that he's got room to put weight on. I don't think he needs to play at 165 that he weighed in at. I also would venture to guess that he lying about what he played at Texas this last year, because he looks bigger than he weighed in at the combine, and he said he weighed in at the same. He looks much bigger. So we have a guy who's going to break away from everything. And this is why he's going to improve Marquise Brown. He's going to improve Travis Kelce and improve Rashee Rice with actual speed over the top that will catch the football. He can sink his hips. He can get in and out of breaks. He's got really quick footwork. And then he also uses speed dilation. For those of you who don't know, speed dilation is slowing down, speeding up your stem, those first 5 to 10 yards of your route, to manipulate corners, to either put them into a false sense of security or attack them with speed and get them off their, get them to turn around and flip their hips and then break off and use a different route. So he has a lot of things that you want from a height and speed perspective, because he's almost 6 foot tall and 4'2", You can't teach his size and speed. They don't usually come that big. Tyreek Hill is not that big. McCall Hardman is 5'10", 5'9". He's a bit smaller. So this is why he's in Kansas City. They don't have speed in terms of this kind of speed. And he's not just a speed guy.
No, he is not. He is Matrix. He's far and away, actually. It is so much so that his deep range, because of his 40 time, because he has that long range, I had to readjust the top end scores to make the graph bigger because he was able to push past Tyreek's scores. Tyreek had an explosive range score that was off the charts. It was over 100 on what was a 100 scale before I built that. Xavier hit 103.2 on the deep range metric, a good 1.5 above anyone ever. So that is what that is. You cannot buy that. It ain't at the store. You can't build it yourself. You're born with it. The good thing is I was higher on him after the 22 film than I was after the 23 film, because he did handle contact better as a year younger. And he still maintained the number one thing that he has to have to go with that speed. He tracks the ball over his head as good as anyone in this class, including
as good as anybody.
And including Harrison. He is as good a deep threat as you will find. But you're right, he can do more. This is the really interesting part. They're going to stack him and Hollywood on the same side of the field, and they're going to run 4 verts. The question is going to be who takes the deep over and who just blasts the doors off of everyone. And that's the thing that no one will know on any given play until it happens.
This was the guy before the draft season started that I wanted the Chiefs to draft. I have been on the Xavier Worthy train for a very long time. And he broke out in college as a true 18-year-old freshman.
Oof.
Freshman at Texas University. Okay? He stepped on that field and was already one of the best players in college football. He's 20 years old. He's going to turn 21 before the season. He's young and he's electric. I understand the drop stuff. I understand it. Don't get me wrong about that, because we all lived it. I'm always also going to be a little bit more on the opposite end of drops, right? I don't care so much about drops.
That's my biggest concern.
I know other people do, and trust me, I understand it. If you're going to drop the football and not make plays, I'm going to be mad about it too. But he's going to make plays. He's going to probably drop the ball a little bit here and there. But we also have missed the pick. The Dallas Cowboys at number 29 selected Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma.
Okay. So that went pretty much as we had expected, or at least how I expected. I don't remember where you had Guyton.
Yeah. I had Guyton in the second.
I did as
Mid-second.
well, right at the top. I am just updating the board here like I do. Okay, based on where we're at, where do you think they go at 32? Well, Eric Davis, you got your wish. They got themselves a wide receiver. Maybe the biggest thing out there. Thank you for your support, buddy. We appreciate you. Jay became a member. Thank you, Jay. Nice to see you. Same thing with Wayne. Nice to see you in there. I hope that you enjoy it. Make sure you connect your Discord accounts so you can get into Rogue Nation. Do you think the Chiefs have value in a legit wide receiver? I think this shows that they do.
Yeah, you trade up with I guess trade up with the Bills, and you do give up a 3rd-round pick. You move back 32 spots or whatever it was, and it does look like it was confirmed that it was their 3rd-round pick. Which, okay, you're going to get someone which the Chiefs have not done. They have not traded up for a wide receiver in the 1st round under Brett Veach. They have not even drafted a first-round wide receiver under Brett Veach. This is the first time they've done it. They believe in it.
Xavier is unique. So if they're going to pull out the stops, this also continues to tell me that it was about these first 2 picks. Because clearly you gave away the 3rd comfortably. You moved back a lot. I would not put it past them to now use that 4th combined with whatever else they have to do to move back up in the 2nd and get another prospect that they feel they need to have. This is now becoming a shortened runway to get what you need out of this draft.
That's it. Like, if you can go get someone in the 2nd round now, you pretty much have to. Like that, if the tackle that you want is there, you go. Or don't be shocked if Donovan Smith is your starting left tackle week 1 of the 2024 NFL season.
Yep.
I'm just saying that. I also feel bad. We had a super chat that talking about the Chiefs picking at 32 that obviously is not going to happen.
Oh, sorry.
Where did it go?
Well, let's get to that one. Is that this one? Oh, no. I think that was the one that I just had up.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah.
We're good.
Next, we have Jay. Thank you, Jay. Nice to see you. And thanks for the support, buddy. Does Felix and Ezekiel Uzama have upside as a former number 1 first pick that the Chiefs should consider drafting another DE this draft? I think that he does. I don't think they're done with him. I don't think that they feel he's done. But I do think that they need to continue to take shots at the position because Amenahu's injury is significant and they still see him more as an end. Maybe the injury moves him more to the inside. But like Dana's getting older, Amenahu's getting older. They got to have Felix step up, and they got to have a 3rd. I think they have to have a rotation of 3 younger DNs that can rush the passer.
Yeah, I'm with you. They prefer their defensive ends in a rotation-based system anyway. So it does appear that Mike Dana is going to be like your starting base defensive end, but I think that Felix has the upside to come in on anything that's not first down and give you juice at pass rusher, which is for everything that George Karlaftis has brought. He doesn't bring juice, and I think Felix can do that.
Fair enough. So after Tyler Guyton goes off the board, it is Nate Wiggins to the Ravens. He is my corner 2, and he does go.
Yep. At pick 30, Nate Wiggins. Again, a little undersized, fastest corner in the draft, but dude's physical, does not care about coming downhill and playing physical. We'll meet you, and I like that, and that's why the Ravens drafted him, because they love those physical guys, and even at his size. I think he's probably going to be better than some of the other corners that come out of Clemson. He's got tons of talent. So this makes a ton of sense to me.
I am 100% with you. I'm not sure why it wants to ask me that, but okay. Thank you, Jay, and welcome to the memberships as well. I saw that you did both, so cheers, buddy.
Yes, thank you, Jay.
Voodoo, Johnny Newton screams 49ers with Armstead and Kinlaw on. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Woo, that snuck up on me. Apologies. I'm allergic to John Newton, evidently.
Apparently.
That's right. We'll let the Niners get what they need to get. But yeah, that makes perfect sense. This whole thing about trading Ayuk and stuff, I don't know. They might look at
I don't know.
as well. Would you say the Chiefs are Hollywood worthy, Isaac?
Yo, fancy.
I
would say so.
Well done. Do we trade again to get the 3rd rounder back? I I don't even know if they get the third rounder back dirty. I think they go from 64 to like 50. One of those crazy drafts that I did a couple weeks ago. If they throw in 2 or 3 other picks because maybe they don't think the depth on day 3 is worth it, and they go get somebody else that they feel they need to have to make an impact.
That's fair. I think that they could do both if they wanted to. They could trade up into the third and then trade up a little bit in the fourth if they wanted to, like, or even in the second. They got some of that day 3 capital. It doesn't take as much to trade up into the third, or vice versa, a little bit into the second if you want to. That would take a little bit more from where they are in the fourth round to do that. But it is what it is. Just to recap real quick, since the Chiefs have picked at 28 with Xavier Worthy, the Dallas Cowboys at 29 selected Tyler Guyton, and then the Ravens just selected Nate Wiggins, cornerback out of Clemson. So, in case you guys didn't get those picks,
yeah, sorry, I'm a little hung
no,
up.
you're good. Just want to make sure.
Somebody, I appreciate that. Okay, Exetal, hope you're doing well. Bill's helping the Chiefs win Super Bowls. I'm not going to argue with you. Clearly, they have a pretty open relationship because the Chiefs were able to get them to give up a pick. And yes, they got uber value for it. I'll give them credit, Brandon B. But they got them to move out of their number 1 position of need. And that's what I don't understand. Maybe it's because of the volume. Maybe they're close enough that Brett Veach and Brandon Bean can talk to each other frankly enough to say, my number 1's not on the board. My number best option. Do you still want your number 1? And maybe we can get something done. I don't know how that works. But I'm really, really keen to understand that. I want that call.
I'm like, you guys know I do the Cover One Draft Show a podcast as well. So I'm in group chats with
I forgot.
all guys that cover Bills, and their heads are probably exploding.
Dude, you are so the king of that thing already. They're so mad they brought in a Chiefs fan. I'm going to tell you that right now. Dang.
Wink,
nice to
I'm
see
looking
you,
through it right now. They're not happy.
Pay Super Bowl tax on trade and don't get what you want. Well, I won't necessarily agree with that because I don't think they would have done it, especially for just 4 picks, if they weren't getting what they wanted. I do tend to think that they did exactly what they wanted to do all along. Bills traded down so they could pick a 32 and pretend they won the Super Bowl. Maybe it gives them a nice illusion. You got a good point, Tom. Joe Crum, nice to see you. Thanks for the support, pal. Trevor, nice to see you as well. Besides tackle, who do we trade up for in the second? Names or position group? If Kingsley, Rosengarten, maybe even Paul, if maybe they have him graded higher than I do because I have him at the top of the 3rd, but maybe they feel they need to go up from 64 to get any of those 3 tackles as their secondary need now. They could do that. Did you watch Aurora? I like him.
I do. I did watch Rook, and my issue with Rook is that he's been the same player for 3 years.
Fair.
He has not developed, and he's an older prospect. He's a senior, 5th-year senior, if I'm not mistaken, and he's got no pass rush tool bag, nothing. He's an excellent run defender, super physical. But what have you been doing the last 3 years, my guy?
He's long, physical. I mean, honestly, it's the same thing that I thought of Miles Murphy, and Tyler Davis has taken a step back, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
That's a fair criticism. He's got the tools, and I saw that as an upside that he doesn't have much of a plan or maneuvers, but you have a good point. I didn't piece that together. It's been 3 seasons for him. But I think I see what they're trying to do.
No, I get it. Don't get me wrong, I do.
Trevor wants a name. I got a name for you. I think I see what they're trying to do.
Oh,
I think they're gonna maneuver again, and somewhere in the low 50s, they're gonna select Marshawn Nealon. That's what this is saying to me.
Interesting.
Just looking at the way the board is laying out, unless it's one of those tackles. It's the only hiccup I can see.
I would think it has to be, personally.
I would too.
I don't know how you again, maybe they're very confident in Wanya Morris. Back to that question we had earlier. Maybe they're very confident.
Could be. I don't know.
Because they had an opportunity to pick them, so.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking defensive line, certainly offensive line. They won't go back to wide receiver. I think they will on day 3. What now?
The 49ers Ricky Pearsall at 31.
No way
Boy.
to stop them. If that means they are now going to trade Ayuk, I'll give them the rest of my draft. If I can't have a tackle, I'll give it to him. Dang, that is crazy.
I like Ricky. I
do
like Ricky.
too, but not there.
This seems a bit much.
I agree. I do like
He
Ricky
played
as well.
at Arizona State, though. That's funny.
Good point.
And then he transferred to Florida. I don't know, man.
I have him mid second round.
I have him mid third, right behind Jalen Polk.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully you're wrong on Polk then too, and he'll go earlier. Knock on wood.
Yeah, that's again. So Ricky Pearsall is a fantastic route runner, and again, he's a multifaceted player.
And now the Buffalo Bills have traded out yet again. The Carolina Panthers are on the clock at 32, where the Chiefs had been. Brandon Beane is in panic mode and is gathering every pick he can get. Joe Marino is rolling around on the floor right now.
So this is Xavier Leggett. I'm almost sure of it.
Yeah. Okay. And what gives you that specific? I have not heard that connection before.
I have I have heard the connection before. So the Panthers, funny enough, still have their 33rd pick. The Panthers still have their 33rd pick, so they're going to go back to back, which not till tomorrow.
How'd they wrangle that? That's impressive. Not entirely excited about the pick, but the remaining options out there. I can get that, Cody.
So
we should hear from Andy and tonight, I believe.
Sorry, they just updated. Buffalo did get 33. So it looked like they hadn't updated the board yet. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. Buffalo does not want anything to do with the first round. They're just trying to get as many players as they can.
Like we've said, though, the bulk of our grades are in the second round.
That's true. That's true.
So they've just given themselves top 100s, I'm guessing. I haven't seen the compensation for this last one.
Yeah, look, I mean, looking at my
more pick of the bulk.
Looking at my board, I have 91 players on day 2, graded as day 2. I have 91 players.
That's impressive. I have 80, so we're close. So they're doing the compression technique. I talk about that most years because generally for the Chiefs, that's what I think is best. This year they needed to move up. We saw that. But compression gives you into that day 2 area your best chance of getting multiple selections that can help you.
No.
Who is the slot? Hollywood, Worthy, or Rice? Yes.
The funny thing about this is that all of them will play everywhere. Andy Reid has been the focal point of positionless wide receiver play for a very long time. And we're seeing it more in the NFL everywhere. Yes, X receivers are useful. Andy Reid specifically does not use the trait that most teams want with X receivers, the ability to go down the field and make contested catches and dunk on guys. That is not what he's about. He is about scheming open players into space and creating space for his other players. So Hollywood Brown and Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are all going to create space for each other on top of Travis Kelce, who already draws the attention of 95% of defensive players on the field. So that's what he's doing.
Yeah. In college, Worthy ran 40% of his routes out of the slot. Significant group. He is 15th in that rank out of 36 guys that I have stats on. So he can do it all. He can line up anywhere, same as Hollywood, same as Rashee. What about picking up Cooper DeJean? Yeah, it does look like he's fallen some, unless he's this last pick. I don't think he falls to 64. So again, if you're trading up to mid-50s, which is about as high as I think you can actually go without giving away the entire draft. I was only kidding about that before, folks. I don't know that DeJean is that, unless it's a medical and he's falling all the way down and will be a day 3 guy, much like maybe he and Zach Zinter are this year's Trey Smith, and it's the medicals that are driving it all down.
Yeah, that's very true, because Zach Zinter, again, was one of the best guards in college football last year until he got hurt, and all of a sudden, well, we're done. We're not tracking this guy. So, okay.
I'm with it. Okay. I see. I've been calling him the best value in this draft for the last month.
Yeah, for sure.
And it may, if Cooper DeJean falls that far, he would take over that, in my opinion. But that's okay. Oh,
Yeah, the only reason I even have Zach Zinner that low, like I have him at the top of the fourth, just because of the injuries. Like based off of his actual grade, I would have him like on day 2 firmly.
Oh yeah, I'd probably have him in the second round, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Where did I end up putting him? Leggett to the Panthers. You were absolutely right, Daniel.
I'm just saying, guys.
You nailed it. Yeah, I have Zach Zinter at the bottom of the fourth as well. So Leggett, 1-year wonder, serious concerns for me, goes to a guy that is under duress, that needs to deliver the ball quickly, and needs his guy to do his work on his end to make that reception. That part makes a lot of sense to me.
I mean, if you look at the situations between the two quarterbacks, Bryce Young and Spencer Rattler last year at South Carolina, their offensive line was terrible. He had to throw the ball up to him all the time. And every time he did, seemingly, Leggett came down with it. It looks like this is a getting that speed to match with Deontay Johnson. Just like the Chiefs, we're getting speed for their underneath players. Adam Thielen and Deontay Johnson are going to win underneath. So you create space for them by getting a deep threat. Now, they still need to get their offensive line figured out and run the ball a bit better. But this is giving Bryce Young the opportunity to get better this year. Now, what happens to Jonathan Mingo? Because he was drafted at the beginning of the second round last year. Panthers drafted him at what, 33 or 34, 35, something like that? So they have now 4 receivers.
Who's their third?
Now it's going to be Adam Thielen.
Thielen's ancient. He will coach them up. I think eventually that's where Mingo goes. Because if I remember correctly, one of the notes I made on him was I liked him inside as a big slot.
Correct. That's what he's going to be best used as. Because Deontay can play the Z. You have your X receiver now, and you put Thielen and Mingo out of the slot.
Done deal. Works for me.
Yeah, DJ right
here.
I
like Bryce, so I hope that it works out that way.
This was the name that I ended up coming to. I don't do comps. I don't
either.
But I feel this in my bones. If he gets to his potential, this is what he becomes. And that's why he's being drafted in the first round.
It's a long road from here, but good point, DJ. And thanks for making it. And Daniel, you nailed it. You have got these wide receivers on lock this year, dude.
Man, it's reflective. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I do the work on these guys.
Yeah.
So it's shown. The only one that I didn't see coming was Ricky Pearsall. That was it.
Okay.
That one was a little bit out of the field for me, but I understand why, especially if you don't have Brandon Ayuk next year. He's a really good route runner, and he has the athletic potential to maybe take over what Ayuk was asked of him. That's what I feel like was why he's that high. But I'm just going to toot my own horn. These wide receivers, y'all, add this on the lockdown.
Ooh. And we're going to see more, I think, before it's over. Can't wait to watch the offensive firepower this season. Always trust Veach. Jason, roll with it. I like the way you did it. And Chris, thank you for your previous super chat. Appreciate you, bro. And then Gurkaran, Galati, thank you for your support. Appreciate it. I'm sorry I butchered your name. I am absolutely terrible at that, but my actual thanks. Worthy, Hollywood, Rishi, and Kelsey versus last year's offense.
Night and day. It's night and day.
They might have to go 6-0 lineman to get it blocked up, but he's going to be chucking the ball.
Patrick Mahomes wants to throw the ball downfield again. That's what it feels like. He wants to throw it downfield again. And defenses are going to have to let them throw underneath now because they're going to have to pay attention to the guys running downfield. And they didn't have to pay attention to MVS.
And that is the greatest point. You know who's probably happiest about this? One Travis Kelce.
He's done having to deal with all that press coverage.
Yep.
Like that's what that feels like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. We're going to wrap it up with last couple of super chats. out on the road. I'm going to be live on Locked On Chiefs here coming up in a little bit after we get the show planned, because that's the way it goes. I predict a huge Kelsey resurgence. This frees him up. Very good, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
You are on our wavelength, brother. Thank you, sir. Brody, Ayuk to the Bills coming. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it to me, because it feels like Kyle's like, oh, I'm going to give you guys somebody else that'll take some pressure off of you. Maybe we can get it done this time.
Maybe. I mean, it doesn't. I don't think they're going to trade him personally.
I don't either. There's no way to get value back with him, especially now. Hate to be negative, but what would you be disappointed for the Chiefs to draft coming up? If they walk out of here without any O-line support, I would be frustrated.
Yeah, that's fair. Even interior, because we talked, if you guys went back and watched the draft summit with the KCSN guys, we talked about how interior is kind of sneaky need, right? And it feels like that's going to be some place where maybe one of those 4th-round picks that now they have goes, right? That's kind of how that feels. But if they don't get any real legitimate offensive line help, someone that can compete at tackle, I'm interested about what the plan is, because again, I like Wanya Morris. I thought there was legit upside as a run blocker, but he was a pretty bad pass protector, like objectively bad. Just could not get out of his. He couldn't get out of his. He couldn't get off the snap. He couldn't do it. It was, for whatever reason, it was bad. So he's got to get better.
Where he is. We knew he needed a year. Let's see where he is after a year. And maybe the Chiefs are right. Maybe he's more farther along the road than I thought it was.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be nice. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, right? That'd be great. Chris, thank you. Great stream, guys. So excited to see Worthy. See y'all tomorrow. Thanks for being here, brother. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Chris.
And for those of you that are dipping out and going to see KCSN, say hello to the boys for us. And for the love of God, somebody get Kent some help, okay? He's probably got his hands full. So cheers. Yeah. We will see you guys for round 2 tomorrow. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you then.